Hey guys, sorry about that. I was trying to type something and read. How's everyone doing tonight? Mayor Ramon, how's it going? One second, guys. All right, guys. Hey, how's everyone doing today? Oh no, the heat is deadly over here. Yeah, Mira, it was supposed to rain today, and we didn't get no rain. Mira says, "How you doing? Working, Lily? Or Lily, how you doing? You working? So you got home today, Lily? Or are you working?" I'm used to 75 and it's 100 here. Yeah, that's not good, Ramon. I know how us a little bit larger people handle heat, and we don't handle it as good. Hey, Ramon. Hey, worked earlier today. I'm home early. That's good, Lily. That is really, really good. I'm trying to fill something out. No, they changed my schedule again. He's alive. Yeah, I'm alive, Rye. That I am. I'm doing good, Rye. No major problems. Trying to send Lily her birthday donuts. Goon Life, what's up? Hey guys, the video will come out tomorrow. I got Goon Life's packages in. I opened it and I did a video on it, recorded it. I was gonna try to do live when I got it the other day and ran into some issues. I'm just going to line something up before I say I'm out. I'm just going to. Well, I do have the donuts, Lily, heading your way. I'm just trying to get it all finalized. See donuts on there? Don't be hating on them donuts. Now, question, Lily, is there a preference in donut shops? Hey, Blue Fire. Is there a preference in donut shops that you like around there? Do you like like Dunkin' Donuts over Krispy Kreme. Or there's Shipley Donuts, I believe they're called. Do you got a preference on that, Lily? Guys, guess what? I watched Goon Life's video. I can speak pretty much Spanish. I watched that whole video and translated the whole thing. So if anyone has problems with that, send her a fancy pastry from Porto's. Oh, there's only like three donut shops in her area that's even open. Like the one that looked really good, it's called Duck Donuts, but they're not open. Or the Art of Donut, like that one looks really cool. Just the name alone, the Art of Donuts. Dun, dun, dun. But like, I've got like Cinnaholic, which don't even look like donuts. Spanish class and Goon Life's video. Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? Like, man, I learned every language just from watching everyone's videos here. Oh, thanks. I'm not mad because of the shift change. I'm mad because meeting at work, my social schedule was changed 10 to 7. So you're going to answer me, Lily, which donut brand do you prefer? Or am I just going to send you a random? I'm not sure of those, but crispy. Yeah, the Cinnaholic one, I mean, it looked cool, but it's kind of weird. Like, I've never heard of, like, that company. And then the other one was Dunkin', which Dunkin's a good brand. I can't knock Dunkin'. And then the other one was Shipley's Donuts. I'm not sure of those, but crispy. So we're going to go with Krispy Kreme then, Lily. Send her some tripas. She said the big one. She said pizza-shaped donuts. They don't, like, I looked at somebody's ride. They don't have pizza-shaped donuts. But she did say she wanted a cake, so I can send her a dozen of. Now, do you want glazed or do you want the assorted, Lily? Do you want the classic glaze? I've never heard of them either. I think Shipley closes at 4 to 5. I don't know. Shipley's on my list of still being open. All the other ones already closed. Ramon, it's their birthday, not a funeral. So do you want the assorted, Lily, or do you want the original glazed? Glazed is fine. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure this goes through. Verifying order. I'm down to 6. Okay. George Lopez. Hey, ML. Krispy Kreme's just confirmed it, Lily, so they're honest. I can't show your address. Let me do it this way. Don't show your. They're on their way. Did that quick, so people can't see everything. Hey, ML, I'm working on artwork in Illustrator right now, trying to find the correct window where I can click off the features so that the strokes will stay proportionate when I resize the artwork. I'm not sure how to do that, George. I normally I use Illustrator or photo. I use the Photoshop. I don't use Illustrator that much because what it is when you do scale, since it's a vector image, it's going to scale everything as it gets bigger. So it's going to keep it proportionate to the size as it scales. Because if it didn't, what would happen, as long as it's all connected, it should scale together. Ramon, what Lily think about its super burrito and the chocolate donut for dessert, but it's all at once in one bite. Hey, George, sure figured it out. George, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Show it. What? I want to see the burrito-filled donut. Parvo got them between vaccinations. The donuts are on their way, though, Lily. And as the live goes on, we will keep updated with DoorDash. Sorry I didn't get them on Rise Live. I got home that day and fell asleep. I actually went to bed around probably 8 o'clock that day for once. Because I've been running early work stuff, super early. So I went to bed early on it. But just a quick glance, guys. There's the box. Goon Life. Success over friends. Success over friends. Goon Life. Like I said, guys, that video will be out tomorrow. The unboxing. Here's the other thing, too. Everyone. Okay, now sing happy birthday. I don't know if you want me to sing. Ramon. I've only got 7. I think it would drop in half. One second. I just had a crazy thing on my phone. Hey there, DoorDash connected you to DoorDash update on your phone. Good evening, Robert. I'm with DoorDash, and I'm on the way to pick up your order. They are on the way, Lily. I can show you this because it's just DoorDash. It ain't my number. And focus. And that's that DoorDash random number thing, so. So we're showing 31 to 41 minutes on the run now. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. There you guys go. I sang happy birthday. Hello, Ramon. Found the correct location under the preference window. That's good, George. When she gets her donuts. No, it's okay. Don't need YouTube flagging you. Oh, yeah, that's a copyright song. Guess what? Guess what state it was made in? Does anyone have a clue? I'll give you a hint. It's Kentucky. It was 2 ladies in Kentucky wrote that song here. The only reason I know it's they're on one of the insurance commercials, and that's what it brings up. It's Kentucky was famous for creating the song. Now I got to double check and verify. Who created the happy birthday song?
The melody of Happy Birthday to You comes from the song Good Morning to All, which has traditionally been attributed to American sisters Patty and Mildred J. Hill in 1893, although the claim that the sisters composed the tune is disputed.
Yeah, there you go. Some more useless information. But look, they even kind of how they said it's disputed. They stole it. Hey, Rye, did you hear about whatchamacallit? I can't think of his name. He died Friday. It's not Sir Mix-a-Lot. What's his name? Do you remember who? You know who I'm talking about, Rye? It's not Run DMC. It's He sung Baby Got Back and all that songs. What rapper died Friday? Biz Markie. So, Rye, on your next live, when you play music, you should have played Biz Markie. Hey, baby. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I remember that. I was like in 6th grade, I think, when that song came out. And we can't play it because trademark infringements. So how's everyone doing tonight? I know I've had a busy few weeks. I do got a bunch of videos scheduled to drop. Hopefully I can get them all. Yeah, I'm 40, I think 41 maybe. I was born in 79, so whatever that makes me. But I don't know, 40 something. I think I'm 41. I'll be 42 this year. Hope everyone's weekend's going good. Tonight's drink sponsor is water, aqua. Look, Spanish for aqua. I know my Spanish. This bottle came from my Achilles surgery. This was my when I completed the rehab on my left leg. This is what they gave me. Stupid water bottle. They're like, thank you. Here you go. I'll be 21 again this year. Yeah, that's pretty much like me, Ramon. I mean, I'm going backwards. It's just easier to go backwards. Count down. It's like spaceships and all that. They don't count up, they count down. So hope everyone is having a good night. Is there any questions that anyone has? I'm going to need surgery on my right knee again. What kind of surgery? Is it arthroscopic, Ramon? Oh, we got tagged again. Let's see what it says. Oh, we're down to 18 to 24 minutes. They have picked up your donuts, Lily. Drink sponsored by G to the O to the D. Yeah, he made that. That's some high quality H2O. You got to have that high quality H2O though. So yeah, surgeries aren't too fun, Ramon. I've had quite a few of them, and I try to avoid them. We are at 1,900 subscribers, guys. So we're getting close to the 2,000 giveaway. It's showing I'm averaging about 50 plus a month now. So maybe within 2 months, we'll be giving something away. Remember, guys, you had to watch all them other videos. MCL. I don't know what type of surgery, but it's my MCL. Well, hope it goes good, Ramon. Yeah, my meniscus tear. Now I did an arthroscopic on my meniscus. That was my first major surgery, I believe, next to having my tonsils removed when I was little. Waldo, are the bibs for sale on the website? The full polyesters? Yeah, Mir, they are. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they are because Lily bought some a long time ago. I don't think I took them down. I think they're still up there. Yeah, they're on page 2, right? Top right, far right on the second page of the items. Where the baby bibs are over there. We just got another huge shipment of them in, actually. Yeah, Ramon, like I said, I had my white toner printer. Any thoughts? Are you talking about the laser white toner, which would be technically toner? That's the only one that actually uses toner. I'm not big on white toner printers, but I do have a laser printer. Laser printers are used. You can make transfers with them, and what they're doing, that's pretty much how Supercolor process is very similar. They're using a little bit different ink, but you can use white toner ink. It works perfectly fine. I've done that. What you end up doing is you print onto the substrate with the white toner or with the laser, and then what you do is you screen print the white on the back of it, and then you put the powder on it, and then the powder bonds to it. You run it through a dryer just like you would anything else. It bonds, it holds it really good, and they give you some really good results. The downside about it, that paper, back in the day, it was like 15 cents a sheet. Now that paper, my provider where I was getting it from, because you got to order it from overseas, they don't sell it here in the States. That paper now is about 75 cents to 85 cents a sheet, and that's without shipping also. So once you hit that ballpark range, it's still feasible, but you're going to have to screen print the white. But like the big laser printer, like for instance, the one I've got that does 13 inches wide, and it does 13 by 19. Technically, you can't print to the edge, so it's like 12.7 by 6 or 18.7, I think it is. But the only major difference about that is when you hit that price. What's up, JBM? That was a great video today, guys. Go check JBM out. It's not bashing Supercolor. He was just showing a thing that he ran into where he was having issues with their transfer. It's not saying they're good or bad. It's just showing the issues that you can run into with transfers. Like he said, they weren't old. One quick question, JBM. Trying to see if this could be a factor, because I know, when they sent you the original ones, did they send it with a desiccate pack in there? And then if so, did you store them with the desiccate pack in there? Because what I've been finding, like, which I know with their transfers, moisture is the enemy of transfers, especially like a Supercolor transfer. So normally they send a desiccate pack in there, which is one of them things they put in tennis shoes, which it pulls the oxygen out, the moisture out, and kind of traps it. But it mostly pulls the moisture out of it. And so what it does is it keeps them dry at a set temperature, because the moisture in the air can affect the transfer. More so a Supercolor transfer compared to a plastisol transfer. Like I said in that one video, if you guys remember, I've done transfers on ones I had were almost 2 to 3 years old. They transferred perfectly fine. But I will say on Supercolor, humidity is not their friend. Moisture is not their friend. It's not like you're spraying water on them, but if they're left open, yeah, I kept the package inside the original package and stored the transfers inside the house. Hey, Mike, how's it going? On that JBM, I mean, man, that was the only other thing I could think of that I seen in the video was maybe the desiccate pack or whatever. But that's my issue, is like I said, where I did the other things, and that's why I didn't really push many of the more videos out there about them, is because I didn't want to give them a bad name per se or be rude to them. But if you're the transfers are very sentimental on pressing them. They've got like feelings worse than rye does. They're easily hurt. But no, the super color ones, like, you got to have everything so precise to get it to work. I know in their videos and all that, and even like Stan, when he works with other people, he gets them to work perfect. But like, your pressure's got to be right. Just there's so many variables. The other thing, JBM, you might want to try, which is don't put the transfer sheet on top, or the Teflon sheet on top. Press it without the Teflon sheet, and then see how it goes, because you can press them that way. Maybe that would help. I don't really think so, but I just think, honestly, JBM, the major issue is just the transfer, because that's like where I was explaining what they do is, like I said, it's screen print, it's laser printed, or it's done with, I did that too. You did everything I could think of, JBM. I mean, but what they pretty much do, let me grab one of mine. Is, let me go grab one other transfer I got. All right, sorry guys. But now I'm wondering how well they'll hold up after a customer gets them. Sorry about that, guys. I used them for a long time. Several customers, and it was rush order situation. Got a phone, and it's 5% now. So good night, everyone. Good night, Ramon. Sorry about it. I'm just getting back. Okay, here's a few different things like this. Okay, this is a transfer. This is a direct to film. And like I said, and there's 1,000 ways to print these things. This one was printed by going the concept kind of like a screen print method. So when you're putting black down, do you need black? And this is a question when people ask about the direct to film. Do you need black behind it? Not really. Or do you need white behind it? Not really, because black is black. It's going to cover up everything. So this is the back of the transfer. This is the front. You only put the white where the lighter colors are, or the other colors. Some companies go heavy white. and it's personal choice on what they do. The difference is you're adding layers, so it does create a variance. So if you're not careful on that variance buildup, you're going to have a step. So when you try to press it in the shirt, you're trying to press ink at two different levels. So that's where that can run into a factor. It's not a major factor, but it is a factor. So that's where some people have the issue. And now another thing, which this one is actually, I can't really compare the size because it's a slight difference. But this is the way similar to a super color. They're using a different, media than what I'm using, but it's done the same process. You can also use a different ink than what I did, but this is done with laser. This is a laser transfer, like I was saying, so you can see the quality. It's like spot on. Everything's perfectly there. This is the other side of the transfer. So what it is on these, you print to the side that's got more or less the release, which is your gloss on it. Every transfer is going to be different. Just remember that. And then what you would do is you take this transfer, and then that's what these registration points are for. And what I do is I line it up, and I literally screen print the white onto it. So I manually, and then they're using a machine. I do have a machine to do a single color, but so pretty much I'm screen printing. So I'm making a screen and screen printing the white. So this transfer is the same as a transfer that you would do for a t-shirt. The only difference is it's used with lasers to do the color. You can use, the pinhead is awesome. I need that shirt in my life. Yeah, that makes a jump. Like, this is a massive, that's 13 by 19. This one is about a 16th inch smaller. It's on the 13 wide, but it's a little bit shy of the, that's when I was stacking it up. It's about a quarter inch shorter, but it makes a massive, massive print. But the difference, like I was saying, and then this one, I didn't have it all back correctly, so there's a lot of transparency in there where it should have been colored. I do have some done correctly. Yeah, thank you, Texas Finest. But yeah, so what the other method is like, this is a direct to film. So this is printing it all down in one step. So it's putting the ink down, and then it's putting the white down. And then these are made by someone else, but you either take and put the powder on it, shake it off, run it through a dryer. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? But these are ran through an auto shaker, kind of like the machine I have. And so what that does is, instead of you having to put the powder on, it automatically powders them. It shakes the powder off. So by it doing that, instead of you having to sit there and make sure you got it removed enough, instead of you getting ghosting on the edges because you didn't sit there and flick it the whole thing really good, it just automatically does it. And then it runs it through a conveyor dryer. It's got its own infrared flash unit. So as they go through, it flashes them, cures it. You can run them through a normal conveyor dryer. You can put them on a heat press to cure them. There's a million ways to cure these things. But that is the process that it uses. And like I said, and that's done with, in theory, you could call it an inkjet printer style. It's not an inkjet printer. It's using the ink, but it's ran through an inkjet style printer. And it's all done in one step. The difference too is these, you've got a register, and you are printing it on the opposite side. So really, here's what the front would look like on the image, because you're printing on the back side of it. So you flip the image just like you would in screen printing, so that when it's removed, you would see it like this on the shirt, but all the ink is on this side. So, but that is how they're done. And this is very similar to, I'm sorry for the ignorance, but those sticks are ignorance, but for those stick to any material, or they restrictions like with sublimation. No, they will stick. Mirror that. They will stick to anything. Like for instance, this is right here on the shirt. This thing's been washed already probably 15 times, 20 times. People get a lot of misconception. There's other people that say, hey, they don't hold up. Even Juan was like, hey, I've used them back in the day on the soccers. He might have used a transfer. He did use a transfer when he did the soccer stuff. This is a different process. The only reason I say that, if you can pull up patents and all that stuff, this paper with the coating on it hasn't been around that long. And it's the ink is slightly different than when Juan was using them. The inks are different. And as far as the adhesion goes, the adhesion uses a powder, which is similar to the powder you use in a transfer. So if you got a good batch of transfers that hold up good, these will hold up just as good. The advantage of these things is like you're not going to do this with a plastisol transfer right here. And watch, this is a print also that's been done. This is a polyester fabric, so it's like a polyester shirt, but you're not going to stretch a transfer like this without it popping or cracking the vinyl. It pops right back. So these will stick on anything. Like you can put them. I've put them on blue jeans. I've put them on hats. I've put them on cork. And so you can make. Let me go grab the cork. All right. Okay, I'm back. They're not hot. Sorry. Oh, they got there, Lily? I'm sorry about that. Aaron is approaching with the Krispy Kremes. Well, at least are they good, Lily? I hope they're good. His name's Aaron. This is on cork. So here's the thing with these transfers. So anyone that's doing other decorations besides t-shirts, like for instance, if you want to do coasters, and this is a rough cut piece of cork, you can buy cork coasters. Lily, you're going to have to record one doing a donut challenge. I'm just saying. Hopefully there's enough that will fill you. But if not, you can save them for later too. But so you can take around, you can buy coasters that are a little bit thicker than this. I have some. This was just done for some other stuff. I actually glued these under. Tell her, Waldo. Yeah, she got the donut. She's going to have to do a donut challenge. Man, why does it keep blowing up my phone? Rennie, valuable insight. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, no problem, Rennie. But what I do with the cork is I put the cork on the back of ceramic tiles. And what I do is I take the laminate pouches where I show you guys. I actually laminate the top of a tile. I'm sending that to, I see that Goon Life box. Yep, that's a Goon Life box. Texas finest. So what I do is I pretty much, I take the tile first. I put the pouch on top. I can't even think what I just called it. But the transfer, the laminate pouch. I put it on top, heat press it, trim it out. And by doing that, when you put a laminate pouch onto something, you can put them onto wood. You can put them onto any material pretty much. A laminate pouch will bond to the surface, and then you can sublimate to it. So you can sublimate on a tile that's not a sublimatable tile. The advantage of doing that is tiles are like 15 cents a piece for a little I think it's a 6x6 tile, so it's like the perfect size to put something like this on. It covers it perfect. So you can take a 15-cent tile. The sheets are less than 20 cents or less. So if you were to buy a sublimatable tile, you're looking at $90 to $1.50 per tile. When you do it the other way, it's a lot cheaper. Well, you can do also, because tile, if you sit on a table, it's going to scratch. They got the tile back on it where you put grout. So if you take cork and use, it's like, what is it, 6,000 glue, whatever. You can glue it with a lot of things, but you glue this to the bottom of the tile, and then you can set it on the table, and it's not going to scuff it up. It's just a little feature thing. But you can also buy cork coasters. So if you take a direct-to-film print, you can actually press these onto the cork coasters, and now they've got a cork coaster. And picture this being round, because you can buy them round, or you could buy a square one. But you can put whatever logo on that. So you can literally like contact bars and tell them, hey, we can custom Carla. Hey, Carla, how's it going? So you can customize a coaster with a direct-to-film. And literally, they stick perfect. Now, that's going with the direct-to-film, not the Supercolor. Supercolor does work. The house print has did it in a video. They lift. They're notorious for lifting. And they're overpriced. So to avoid that, go with like a direct-to-film. There are a lot of people out there. I don't sell them yet to the public. There are people that do. I have a list in the link below where places that I recommend that you can buy them. I do have my own equipment. Maybe one day soon we'll be selling them. I'm not sure. But like I said, like, look, it bends, it wobbles. It holds up. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's not coming off. And so it's great. Works perfect. But that's a nice thing, the difference between when you're asking a direct-to-film transfer release. They'll stick to about anything. You stick them to leather. Of course, they won't stick to metal that I haven't tried. I haven't tried anyways, but they'll stick to like hats. So you can do like a hat print if you want. This one's too big for the hat, but you can do it on a hat. And then, like I said, this is the other method, though, right here where I was explaining. This is similar to how Supercolor is made. The same process. They're printing onto a substrate like this. I did this with laser. The advantage of a laser, doing them this way, is the laser I have will print 600 sheets, or not 600 sheets, 60 sheets a minute. So like I can have 60 of these in 1 minute, knocked out, ready to go. So that's insanely fast. You're not even going to have an auto keep up with that. Hey, Waldo, the amount that you get, ask about, maybe you should start selling them. Yeah, I'm going to probably start selling them, Mike. It's just my big thing is trying to fit time to get them done. And because we've got 2 employees, if I'd probably need to hire someone else, because I'm also the time where I've been running a lot of this other stuff. I've got other things coming in. I'm getting back into machining again. I've got a plasma table coming in. I've got some larger equipment coming in, some more mills, some lathes and all that stuff, CNC stuff. So it's hard for me to do them all myself. Super goons, yeah, Goon Life. That's what they are. I mean, it's just what brought it up, Goon Life, is JBM. Actually, he had issues in a video earlier today because he was using their stuff and had some issues with it. So I was explaining the difference of how, like, and this is the true way of how they're done. I've talked to Rum. I know Rum. Hey, Patty B, just joined direct to film. Yes and no, Patty. I'm covering a few different processes. Like I was showing that you can direct to film onto pretty much anything. This is cork. So this is sublimation with polymer polymade powder. No, this is actually a direct to film. But on a tile, you can sublimate if you use. There's a few different things. So if you use a laminate pouch, you can sublimate onto a laminate pouch just about anything you can get that laminate pouch to stick to. I don't have, normally I have a bunch of things because I did all that other stuff. I got one right here. Okay, this one, the wood had a warp in the wood, so you can see it looks like a streak down the middle. This, I actually took a laminate pouch, laminated the wood. So let me find the side where you can see it better. So I laminated the wood, so all that grooving you see, that's the texture of the wood. And here's an example of the back. Focus. It's hard to see the grain in the wood. There, you can kind of see it like over here. All that grain. So what happens when you laminate a pouch onto wood? It's going to pick up anything. So here's a good example. You hear that noise? That's right over that area. That wood had a crease, a horrible crease in the wood. And when you use a pillow, you could eliminate that. When you use a hard surface, you can't eliminate that. So it is what it is. But so if you take a laminate pouch, and I can laminate the back, I might do that in another video. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, Carla. Yeah, laminate's amazing, the stuff you can do with it. Like I picked this up, Hobby Lobby. It was $8.99. You use the half off thing. It's $4. You can make them yourself. I grabbed a bunch of stuff from Hobby Lobby just to show you guys different things at one time. And I didn't pay attention to the wood grain, or I could have fixed it. Yeah, laminate works great on glass also. I've got a video on that. Laminate pouches are amazing. The stuff you can sublimate to. Because you can take, like where I did in that one where I took a lantern that you buy at Walmart for like $8 or $10, untake the glass out, laminate the pouches, and then it will actually shine through. So it will be like one of them sun catchers. Because even the black ink it's going to be translucent on there. Or you can put vinyl on the backside, and then so it makes it look darker and gives it a solid finish. The light will shine through, and it gives it like a stained glass look. It looks really cool. But this is done with the laminate pouch. So I was explaining the different techniques. These are different panels I sell. This is a stainless panel, which you can actually see the reflection of it. But like the colors the camera doesn't pick it up, but it's raw. It's bare metal, so the metal is going to shine straight through it really good. This is a white one, and the colors aren't even picking up. I only got one light. There we go. There's way more detail in this that you can see that the light's not picking up. But this is a white laminate pouch. I've got a bunch of them. We sell the metal at the website, but these are just sublimatable pieces of metal. This is done with a laminate pouch. But after talking with Rum, and I've talked to Rum a while, what it is they are doing, this is how pretty much Supercolor are made. They are printed on a substrate. Dollar Tree has tin cutouts, and wood all works beautiful to laminate. I learned from your video. Thank you so much, Carla. Yeah, I was going to say, like, literally, I bought the name tags that you get at Christmas time. You literally get 25 of them for like $4 or $5. And they're perfect because you can use them as Christmas ornaments, laminate them, and it's galvanized metal. So be careful. If you heat it up too much, galvanized gives off a poisonous gas. But you're not welding it, so you're fairly safe. But you can laminate them, and you can either use the galvanized look, which gives it a cool rustic look, or you just spray paint it high temp paint with white. Thank you so much, Carla. Thank you. But you can spray paint them white and then put the laminate over it. Use high temp paint, because if you don't, you can scorch the paint underneath, but use a high temp paint that can handle the paint. And when you laminate it, then you sublimate it, and like you've got an ornament cheaper than like where people are selling the ornaments. You can't even buy that for what you can make them for. That's the amazing thing, and that's the awesome thing about Hobby Lobby, because like I said, them ornaments are, and then if you use the half off thing, so you're getting them for like $3 or less for that many, so you're looking at like 15 cents a piece to give someone an ornament that you can sell for 10 to 15 bucks all day long. They've already got the string in the top, and they've got the woven string. I use white primer and laminate the sublimate. Yeah. Because that's the thing too. And the white primer will work. You just got to be careful on your heat. Do not overheat anything with paint in general. Hey, Levitt Apparel. Anything with like white ink or anything, or any paint in general, even the high temp paint, you can scorch high temp paint if you're not careful. But you're not sublimating these that long to even have to worry. So you can use the white primer; it will work also. It's just you don't want to leave it on longer. That's the only big thing. But it is amazing. Laminate pouches, the stuff that you can make. Like I said, like the tile thing is dirt cheap. You can buy a 12 by 12 tile. I think it's 79 cents, 89 cents for a 12 by 12 tile. Put a laminate pouch on that. And you can do family portraits on a tile that you can sell for 25 to 45 bucks, anywhere in that price range. You can put any image on it. And it's literally, if you got a laser jig, you can laser cut a fixture on the back to hold it up. So it sits on the table, looks amazing. And if you use a textured tile, it gives some texture to it. So it kind of does really great. But that's on the sublimate side, and then these are on the transfer side. And I went over these before in the videos, but this is how Supercolor is done. They print onto a substrate, and there's multiple ways you can print. I am using a laser. The reason I use the laser, like I was saying, is I can print 60 of these sheets, 60 plus, in 1 minute. I can't even run my auto that quick. So I can print 60 of these. Now the problem is there's no powder, there's no glue on here. So what it is they take the sheet, and you can run it with like an inkjet printer. You can run other inks onto these things. So what you do is you take this paper now, and then that's what these registration points are for. You make a screen and fill everything in white that you want on the shirt. And then, so what they do is they screen print the back of this with white ink, and then they put the powder down just like you would do a transfer. And then they run it through a dryer. And then when you're done, like for instance, if I don't put ink over these registration points, this isn't going to transfer. It's never going to come off this shirt or this transfer sheet. But when you do that ink, when you press this, it will release this ink into the other ink, because especially on laser transfer ink is almost like a plastic in a way. It's not, but it is hard. It's a hard material. And so what will happen, it will transfer this into the ink. It will hold it, and it lasts a long time. That is how a Supercolor transfer is made. Which laser printer do you use? I use a large format. It's the Rico, I believe it is. I don't know if I have it. The one I use is discontinued now. They discontinued it like a year and a half ago. But it is a large format printer, and it's their high-speed version. So the normal one does 60 sheets a minute. Mine does, I think, will do 80. But I'm never running 80 of them transfers at one time. When Supercolor came out, I learned how the process was done from some people that were selling them supplies, and that worked along in there. So I learned from what they were doing and how it's done. They use a hot peel. That stuff is a cold peel that I got there. This is a different company that sells this paper, so it's a little bit different than theirs, but it is done with the same thing. Dollar Tree, you get 12 for $1. You would be amazed at what you can get in the new craft section. Yeah, that's the cool thing. Like, the only downside for me, Carla, is like I've got a Dollar Tree near me, but it's not near me. It's about 45 minutes away. So that is my only drawback about the Dollar Tree. It's hard for me to go there to get supplies to do videos because I'm not normally near it. So normally I'll go like to the Hobby Lobby and use the 50%. But like Dollar Tree is amazing, guys, because everything's in there is $1. So like you can buy like the rags and the cloths to do man, I'm drawing a blank here. I mean, like the ShamWow towels, the little wash rags. They have them in there in a bundle. I think it's like 6 or 8. And so you can buy them and sublimate on them instead of buying like the other one. It's an amazing thing. 3D print stand. Yeah, there you go. If you got, that's another thing. So if you got a 3D printer, you can 3D print them stands. And like I've got a laser, so I've made a design. So it literally just folds together. It works perfect. And it holds them. It also holds like where I laser on big granite tiles. So it holds them also. Hey, Pam, how's it going? You're driving. Be careful as you're driving. I have a cheaply HP black and white. Yeah, and that's, now this won't, you could do this on black and white. The only thing is everything would be black and white. You got to put the white ink down. So you could only print black and white transfers that way. You're still going to have to the screen print the back. But like I was saying, even at the beginning, the downside about these, when these came out, and I've had these probably 3-4 years. I had a video a long time ago, one of my earlier videos saying the next replacement for Supercolor. And I was already testing this stuff for 6 months then. And I was getting ready to make it. The downside, these come from overseas, this paper does. So they don't make it cheap or easy to get your hands on it. And it used to be like 15 cents a sheet or less. Now it's 75 cents or higher, depending on where you get it. What vendor over there, I've paid as much as $1.50 for these sheets, because you got to pay shipping and all that. So the downside is it's not as effective as it used to be. And with these sheets, like I said, the amazing thing is I can print these so quick. I can take them to my auto. I've got a single color auto printer. So what it does is just does one color. It's an auto press. You use them for making yard signs and all that. But I've got a vacuum fixture. So I run the registration points and I line the registration up on the table, put it down there. It runs the white. I take it off, set it aside. Someone grabs it, runs the powder on it, and throws it through the dryer. As quick as I can run these on that table, I can run 100 plus an hour on transfers. I can make that many transfers an hour or quicker. Got it for black shirts. Yeah, these work perfect on black shirts also. The downside, like I said, the cost of this paper makes it a little bit more expensive. The other thing, too, when you price anything out like this, you always have to factor in the cost of screens. So a screen printing screen, chemical-wise, the coating the screen, and this is minusing the cost of a screen. A screen's going to cost you $20 to $30 depending where you buy your screens from. But when you put the emulsion on it, you got to remember screens are reusable. So that cost is divided amongst how long you use your screens for. If you pop that screen on the first one, you just lost $20 on one job. Thank you for the info, Carla. I didn't even think of buying pillowcases at the dollar store or Dollar Tree. I gotta go there later. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they've got pillowcases, like they got everything, and you can't beat the price. Like the only thing I'll say that Walmart's got to beat on is socks. And the reason I say that, if you get socks at Walmart, the AN1 brand, it's less than about $1, depending if you catch it on the sale or not. But they're about $1 a pair of socks to sublimate. And so that's cheaper than silky socks and all that. I don't have them on right now. I was going to say, let me check my sock. I've got a bunch of socks that I've sublimated. The only difference, it says N1 on the toe of the sock. but they're ribbed in the arch of the foot. They're a very comfortable sock. They're an athletic sock. They are 98% polyester, which is the same as a silky sock. They work great to sublimate. Can't beat it. That's why I'll probably never carry Smiles. That's why I will probably never carry my own socks, because I can be competitive with silky socks on price, but I can't beat Walmart. So I try not to carry products that Walmart can beat me on. That's why I don't carry some products. But the thing with this, like I said, so now you're in the transfer, let's say $1.50, because you got laser toner. Laser toner super cheap. So now you've got $1.50 in that, and you've got a screen. So I call a screen about $5. You can get it as low as $3. But and what that means is you're putting emulsion on the screen. You're using chemicals to remove the emulsion, and then you're reapplying the emulsion. So you've got your emulsion stripper, you've got your degreaser, you're reapplying it. So by the time you add all them chemicals up, you've got about $3 to $5 in the screen. So, and this is where, and even on Super Color, this is where the price comes in. Now they're doing a roll press instead of a screen press, but they are screening the ink on through a rotary press, but they're doing 2 coats of white. When I screen print these, I only use 1 coat. I buy socks at Dollar Tree, 3 for $1. Same as silky socks. I use them also. Yeah, I was gonna say, and even Dollar Tree's got the plastisol socks. I just always like the N1s because they make all different sizes. But that's the thing, guys. Like, hit up your Dollar Trees. Dollar Trees are amazing places to get some good supplementable products. The other thing too, like I said, I've got a link in the description. It is an affiliate link, but it's where I get my transfer sheets from. I buy the transfer pouches. I also buy it by the roll. I don't have the roll place on there because it's not on Amazon, and they don't. The one I was getting it from, I had to have a wholesale license. I had to buy a bunch. But normally I buy the pouches, guys, and I've got a link down there. You get a bundle, 100 of them for dirt cheap. You can buy them at Walmart too, guys. They have them there. Sometimes you can buy the house or Walmart brand cheaper than the Scotch brand or the 3M brand. But them transfer pouches are amazing because you can supplement pretty much any material with them things, guys. But so like on here, you're in $5. And that's why Silky Socks has the minimum of 20 transfers. Because what they're doing is they're taking this cost, because now they're in at so they're in at $6.50 a transfer. Hey, Free Press, let's say, how's it going? How many can you get out of one screen print before it breaks down? Well, that's the thing. You could print to your heart's content because you're just printing white emulsion. Here's the thing I will say. Silky Socks, where they got the different grades. Their one grade is a water-based ink. So you got to use a water-based emulsion. They also do have their other ones, like their polyester ones and all that, which are a plastisol ink, which are a low-cure plastisol ink. That's how they're able to print them on there. So going by your emulsion will determine how much life you get. But like, for instance, when I'm screen printing in general, it's going to do the run of the shirts unless you're doing in the thousands. You run about 1,000 to 2,000 shirts. Sometimes it's not all screens, but sometimes you will have a screen. You're going to lose some of the image in there over time, but that's on 1,000 to 2,000 shirt run. Most of the time, it's not bad enough to even worry. If you were doing something like this, all half-toned image, you might see a little bit on your white, where you might want to make a new one after 2,000 prints. But probably not. I mean, a lot of it will hold up even better. Like, and that's running it on an auto. Auto is going to be more aggressive on a screen than if you're doing it yourself, because the auto is coming down with the chopper force, so it's pushing a set force down every time and pulling it. They're not as forgiving as your hands can be. Like, your hands, you are pushing down to squeegee it through, but that's consistent pressure with an auto is a little bit more aggressive on it. But it will pretty much last the life of your image that you're going to screen print. So, and then like the screen itself, I go by tension on my screens. I've got some screens I've had year or two because we don't use them that much. The tension holds up. I've got other screens I've used less than 3 months, and the tension drops below what I like on them. And so I'm going to have them remeshed or just buy new screens. You can buy retensionable screens. That helps get a little bit longer. But even that, when you retension a retensionable screen, after about 2 goes, that screen's going to pop just because that fiber stretched so much. Can't see it over there. There's fiber or there's mesh where I've remeshed mine and all that. So screens can break down over time. There is no screen that will last forever. So like you're in it that much, and that's why Supercolor has the minimum order of 20, because what it is they got to make their money back on that screen. So and there's ways to do it. They can charge you a setup fee. They don't charge a setup fee, and that's how they get away from it. Do you pull out a tension meter to check your mesh tension, or do you just touch it? Eddie, I got a tensioning meter. Any other time I could have told you what they're called. Newton meter. I've got a Newton meter. I've got 2 or 3 of them around here. In one of my other videos, I've got like 2 in the shop at the place and 1 in the shop at here. I got a total of 3, I think. If I'm doing something, especially like, let's say I was doing this job where the color, this ain't really that many colors, but if we were doing all the colors, because this could be done in gradients with all that purple, might run 2 purples, but most of this could be done in less than 6 screens probably. But if I'm doing something that I really need to make it good, or if I'm running something like, if you're doing transfers, which you guys do that, Eddie, but if I'm doing like something like that where I don't want that mesh to stretch enough or move it, then or like if I'm doing spot color, for instance, I'm going to run tension on them before I start, make sure I'm getting every screen within 5 Newton meters of each other, the ones I'm going to run, just so that I don't get smearing on the one color and not the other. Because if a screen is off a little bit, you can get away with it to a point. But what happens when it pushes the screen down, when you squeegee, it's pushing it down and then it's rolling it forward. So what would happen is on a tighter mesh, it's only going to dip down a little bit and slide forward. Where on a loose mesh, it's going to push down a lot more and roll forward. So you're going to see your screen or your image be off, or it's going to be blurred. It might start good, and as that tension's dropping as you're running it, you're going to see it moving and dropping. A lot of people do that flick test and all that. You can do that. It does come in a set tone range, everything would. No one's ears toned, I don't believe, tone perfect or pitch perfect to be able to hear that close a difference in the tension. Because the other thing, when you take a Newton meter, you want to measure both ways. If a screen wasn't stretched good from a place that restretches them, I have had screens that I've got that this way it was reading, let's say 30 Newtons. This way was like 26. It's not that much off, but it's different. So holler everyone, Quick Colors, how's it going? So if a screen is not tensioned, or if they didn't pull the right tension and check it both ways, so you could notice that one stretching one way, and if you only set the Newton meter on it sideways, you might be reading at the high measurement, not the other one that's just the low measurement where it is stretching. Because when you're squeegeeing, that's the way it's going to pull. You're not going to see it as much left to right because you're not pulling sideways on it. So if you're pulling squeegees this way, yeah, you're going to see this tension this way. But most of the time you pull up and down when you're squeegeeing. So you want to check the Newton meter both ways, though, because when you make a screen, when you're retensioning it, like I've got a pneumatic one, I use air pressure, but the tension, even though I set it, let's say 80 psi to pull it at 80 psi, it doesn't, and they both pull at 80. It doesn't mean that mesh got tension 80 psi on each side. It's 80 psi of force pulling it, but that mesh could be a little bit, since I pulled it this way first, it might hold a looser or tighter tension on it than this way. So you always run the Newton meter both ways and make sure they're tensioned both ways. And that's why even on the roller frames, that's what you do. You check one way, you check the other, and you just bump the tension so you got it equal. Most places that make the screens do that, so you don't have to worry, but you got to think, as you're using a screen, you're pulling them this way, the squeegee, so the mesh forward to backward is going to come looser before the left to right does. Even though they're glued, you're still stretching them fibers in there from pushing it down and pulling it, and that's the way where you're going to see that. Hey, Denise, how's it going? So that's the big thing on that, is that if you don't tension them correct, like I said, most screens, most people will never have a bunch of screens with crappy tension. Most of the screens are secondhand. Yeah, and that's the thing too. You can use, and like a lot of people, like I use it to my screens pop. I don't. But what I do, kid joke. But what I do is, as the screen gets less tension, I will use it for like maybe a one color job. And it's like, let's say it's a white t-shirt. I'll use it for like blue or something, where I'm only going to pull that squeegee maybe 1 or 2 times, so that I don't have to worry about that tension really messing with the image. If it's something high detail, no, I'm not going to do that, because you will see blurring, you will see issues. If you run an auto, it's not going to be as noticeable, because the issue with an auto, the force, downward force, if you're using a pneumatic or an electric one, the force is always set. So in our pneumatic one, it's going to push, let's say, 10 psi of pressure down on the choppers. And that's line pressure. You can figure out the true force on the cylinder diameter, calculate it. But anyways, it's going to, let's say, we're going to call it 10 pounds. So it's going to push 10 pounds. And then the pull force, let's say, would be, you adjust the speed rate. But it's going to hold 10 pounds of force down, and it's going to pull it back at a set speed every single time. And it's going to move back, lift up, move back, pull the squeegee, blah, blah, blah. When you do it manually, you're not putting 10 pounds every time. You might put 10 pounds with your right hand and 11 pounds with your left hand. You might get them very close, but your arms are not equally balanced. Just like when you go to the gym, you might be able to curl a little bit more with your right than your left, if you're right-handed or left-handed. Each arm is not the same. So even though you've got a squeegee, if you've noticed when you squeegee, if you're not as consistent, you will notice ink will build up on one side more than the other as you're squeegeeing. And what that means is your body's slowly weaker on the one side. So you're not actually pulling straight. You're pulling at a slight angle, and the force is a little bit different, so the ink will roll off. It's just like a snow plow. You're going to plow it, and it's going to push over to the side that's lacking on the drag. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? Pizza night. Pizza is good, Jimmy. I love pizza. Cheese and pepperoni, can't go wrong. Shout out to Buddy's Pizza. If you want to sponsor me, Buddy's in Michigan, the best pizza around. Detroit style pizza, the originators, Buddy's Pizza. But yeah, so that's what happens when you squeegee, is your hands can do that. So an auto is going to keep constant force. So now if you're using a screen that's out of tension a little bit on an auto, it's still going to push and pull it. So it's going to drag the same every time. When you're doing it manual, you might not. And then as your pressing goes on, let's say you're like when Juan did that live where he did the 100+ shirts, your arms are going to get tired. So the force that you push and as quicker you pull is going to be different every single time. That's why autos will give you a more consistent print, a better print. The people that say they don't know anything about autos, and they've never used an auto. And they don't know much about printing, because an auto is a machine. Now, can you print faster? Honestly, no, because you can set an auto. I'll get you some beer. I don't drink. Ever hear about the chef that had the place in Detroit called Guns and Butter? No, I haven't. Quicksilver. Or Quick Color, sorry. Did not hear about any of that. But like I said, that's the thing, like you can make amazing prints manually, but like if you look at someone that prints, and people that print more manual all the time, like someone like Rye or Juan, you're going to see their prints are fairly accurate from beginning to end. You'll see a difference. I'm not going to say they're perfect, but if you look at anyone that manually prints, someone that's printed longer is going to be more consistent on their print. But if you look at someone that's just starting out, Went from Christina to Quicksilver. Sorry, you know what it is? I seen Quick, and then I'm seeing like a silver color on the screen. My mind does not function like other people's, so it just went Quicksilver instead. But and now I feel bad again. I'll never get names right. Everyone needs to just be letter of the alphabet, so I can be like A, B, or C, D, double A, double D, like not mess people's names up. But and like I said, like when you're starting out, if you looked at your first print to your last print when you're a new screen printer, let's say you did 100 shirts, you're going to see variance in that print. I'll have to visit sometime. Quick Color's got an awesome shop, guys. Check them out. I got it right. I said Quick Color. Ding, 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 ding. Burr, 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 burr. Got the air horn going. But you will see a difference. And like I said, and there's nothing wrong with manual prints compared to auto. They can make just as much as beautiful prints as an auto can. The only difference, your arms aren't as tired running an auto. Once you go to an auto, you'll always say, why didn't I go sooner? Just because you're not as sore. All you're doing is loading. You will double to triple your production rate that quick. But back to the whole circle on the print. What they do is they print onto the film here, either laser or ink. They've got their other process, and they are screen printing with an auto press. That's why they charge you so much. And that's why they got to have a minimum, because they've got to recoup the value of the screens and the other stuff. So that's why they're in so much. On a direct-to-film, this is a direct-to-film of the same print. This paper is dirt cheap for in general. The ink is fairly cheap in general. That's why you see people sell like a full 13 by 19 for less than $10. There are people selling them as low as $5 almost for a sheet. And that's because the cost. Now, you if you're doing this yourself, yeah, you could get away with these being cheaper if you've got the laser printer in general than compared to this. But if you don't, you can also buy these online for little to nothing. The laser printer, so I have, but the opinion to buy a Javelin Auto like Mikey Designs had thoughts. I have a Cruiser. The only thing I will say about like the Javelin like Mikey had is you want to get one with the choppers instead of the pivot. And don't get me wrong, it's a jump up no matter what with the pivot. But the pivot, you will run into issues with the white a little bit. Just because how they're using one bar instead of having two choppers on it. One for your forward, one for the back squeegee. It runs a pivoting chopper. So what it does is it pushes down and it pivots, and it's a V. They tend to be a little wonky on some things. Mikey had to go through and redo his whole thing. You can get them to work. Mikey did, or Matt did. But it's night and day difference if you can get the chopper. There is an attachment to replace them. Cost-wise, though, it will cost more than the machine if you bought them for all of them. But there are machines out there with that conversion on it. Yeah, Mikey had the pivot. He made some comments about it. Yeah, and just like Eddie said, he had comments on it. I know people that had them in the shop. I've used some. You would rather have the chopper if you can get away from it. Compared from manual printing to moving up to it, it's still an improvement. I had the Cruiser about 6 months, but now most of my jobs are minimum 50 pieces. Yes, on the choppers. Yeah, then I would say give it a shot. Choppers are the way to go on it. That's the thing too. Like when my shop started, we started out small and then we moved up. And literally most of the time now we don't do any small orders. Less than probably 50 to 75 shirts. I like the smaller stuff because what you end up doing, you convincing them other people to go one color. But the other thing too is when you're putting out over 1,000 shirts a week, your arms will be like big as my chest if you're doing that all manually. The time frame too, because you can run an auto even on a slow setting once you've got it down pat, which you can get it within 2 to 3 weeks max. Most people can pick it up even quicker, getting used to run the foot control to get used to it. But once you do that, once you're used to it, you don't even use the foot control. You use the bypass if you miss the load. But you will run double to triple what you are running right now on production, and you will not be tired. All you will be doing is loading and unloading. You will do 200 to 300 shirts an hour all day long. You can run into 600 if you got a loader and unloader. You can get some very high production done. So when you're doing that, and then the nice thing too, as you know, quick color, on that 50 shirt order, what really makes it bad is, let's say they do 3 colors on the front. It's a black t-shirt. So now you're 4 screens because of white underbase. But even if not, let's say you're using the white underbase and as a top coat because you don't want to make another screen, whatever, you still squeegeeing 4 times on that one surface. So that 50 shirts now just became 200 shirts because it's got to go by you that many times. So that 50 is now 200 shirts that you squeegeed in one motion before it comes off the press. On the auto, it only goes by once because you run a flash unit after it. Depending on what auto you're running, if it doesn't have step back, you might have to go around twice. But the advantage of the auto also, though, is it is getting it done in general pretty much in one rotation. So when you load a shirt, once you've got your carousel, let's say you're running a 6-color auto, they got more. I've got a 12-color and all that. But let's say you're running a 6-color just like a manual. When you load your first one, it's went around 5 times or 4 times before you even take that shirt off when you're doing a 4-color print. On an auto, it's only going around 1 time. So you're already after 6 shirts. There's 6 shirts up on you before you're even caught up on the manual. Now, the other thing, too, your next load, you're doing the same thing. So you're doing 4 more passes on every shirt to equal 1 pass on an auto. So that right there is 4. If it's a 4-color, that's 4 times quicker. And that's, let's say you're squeegeeing the same speed that the auto is. It's 4 times quicker than you right there. The other thing too, as you know, fatigue sets in your body. So if you try to run, let's say 6 hours straight, your arms are not going to be the same as it was in the first hour. The auto will eliminate all that problems. Like I said, if you're running step back, you can get them off in the 1 pass. If you're running a flash after it, there are many different ways to set it up. Usually people, when they get an auto, they'll get like a set number of heads, and then literally a month or 2 after, like, hey, I wish I would have got more heads, because you will find things like that you need to flash the jobs. And so if you don't want it to go around twice, you put a flash unit in another spot where you'd have a color. So that 6-color, let's say you're running a 6-color, now you only got 1 loading station, so that's only 5 colors because you're loading in that station, so you don't have a plat in there, or you have a plat and you don't have a head on there. So now it's only a 5 color. So now if you do the white and then you flash, that flash, unless you have an auto flash above it, the Javelin does, but none of the other presses run the auto one. So if you're running like a chili press or whatever dryer or a flash unit, so now you're down to 4 colors on a 6-color press. And that's only 1 flash. So that's why people usually, when they get an auto, their next thing is like, I wish I would have got more head colors, because and like I said, that's only flashing once. A lot of times, if it's going to colors where they're going to be on top of each other, sometimes you want to run a flash just so it doesn't muddy it up too much. So you might be running 2 flashes or even 3 on an auto. So the more heads help out later on. You don't think of that at the beginning, but once you get running them, you start looking like, man, I wish I had more heads on it. Or if you're getting into like where you got to run a lot of colors, you're doing spot colors and all that stuff instead of because CMYK will not cover all your stuff. The colors just won't be as accurate on things. So if you run like a spot color process on something, like this image, it'd be processed out. I wouldn't run it as a CMYK, especially because purple does not render as good as colors. on CMYK as it does a spot color. That's a good point. At what point would you say is the better product wise number of shirts to move into an auto? What I would do is, to me, it's a numbers thing, and it's a budget thing. If you can afford an auto, because here's the thing, even if, let's say, you're starting out and you've got, let's say, let's say a $20,000 budget. If you can get an auto in that range, which you can find a used auto, and if it's a working auto, and they can give you some crash courses in it, because the difference, like when you buy a used auto, usually a lot of times they might not be working. Or a good example of the one that Matt got was working, but he had to go through and change all the choppers and all that stuff. If you've never worked on an auto, they are very tedious to work on. So if you can find a working auto, and you can find them less than 20 grand all day long, working autos. But if you can find an auto, a used one or whatever, or if you can budget for a new one, the thing is I don't really look at the numbers. I look at how much I can afford, because you will find out really quick running that auto is night and day difference for you. Setting the things up, running it, because the other thing too, let's say you are running a manual. For now, it's going to free up, and let's just say it's 2 times quicker, even though on the 4-color process, we already said it's 4 times quicker because it is. But let's say it's only 2 times quicker. That already freed up half the time that you were working. So let's say you were screen printing 6 hours straight. Now you're only screen printing 3 hours. So there's a few things you can do. You could actually be paying someone to screen print for that 3 hours now, instead of paying them the 6 hours, because now you're getting twice the workout. So you could free up your time and go work on something else. Hey, Texas Q, how's it going? Where's the donuts? Lily got some donuts, Texas. It is Lily's birthday Thursday, guys. I wasn't on Rise Live to wish her happy birthday, but we did send Lily some donuts, guys. Hopefully she'll do a donut challenge, and hopefully she didn't fall asleep, because I know she works early in the morning. So, but to me, when you can budget it, I would say you will greatly appreciate it within a month of having one. Awesome. Tell her happy birthday. Texas Q said happy birthday, Lily. So that's the thing with me. Like, and most people run manuals. There's people that's ran them for 10, 15 years, and they're fine with it. But if they ever stepped up to an auto, because even though, yeah, you've got electric, you've got air, depending which way you're running them. I mean, they've got fully electric ones. They've got partial electric. They've got all air. So you do have to change your shop a little bit depending what method you're running. But just your production alone, and then you'll see a better quality of print once you get the machine dialed in, because it is a little learning curve, learning on the chopper force, the angles and all that. But once you get it dialed in, your production will go up, the quality will go up. And so if you can budget for it, or if it's in your budget, the money is anyways, you will be more happier. But just because you're going to double to triple your free time, and if you're having someone manually run it, now that means you can take on 2 to 3 times more work, or get the work out quicker. So now you can give someone an order within, let's say, a week instead of 2 weeks. You can do so much more with it. You're not as sore. You still have to set up the screen, so you don't eliminate the setup. But you can buy jigs and all that to make it go quicker. M&R makes a speed jig. Even the Brown Autos, they make a jig. But you'll be more grateful with an auto. The negative with an auto is if you pop a screen or if you have an issue, you don't see it till it comes all the way around. So let's say you're running and you either pop a screen or you've got a major pinhole where it wore the emulsion down on your second screen. Let's say you've wasted whatever platen you have. So let's say you got a 6-color, the 6-8, so 6-color 8 platen. You wasted 8 shirts before you seen that mistake. Once it's up and running, because you're sitting there and letting it go all the way around because you're not walking each step with it. And if you only got one loader, one unloader, he's loaded 6 to 8 shirts before it comes off. On my 12, I'm wasting 12 shirts before we catch that mistake. So that is the negative about an auto, is when something does go wrong, screens will eventually bust. You are going to run through, what do you know in your opinion on the Brown ElectroPress? I've used an ElectroPress. I find people that sell them dirt cheap. One of my friends, before I got in the autos, he had one. He was always maintaining it. I do know another friend here in the same state as I am. He loves them. He's got 2 or 3 now in his shop. I am not sold on Brown. I used to have a Brown 6x6x6. It's a Satan press. Brown presses are made in Michigan. They come with their dryer, their registration thing. Their setup is nice. Their speeds are nowhere near what all the other companies are. They are what I would call an entry-level auto press. Even though they're all motor. A lot of them got the servos on them and all that now. It's all electric, so it's just like the Anatol. But just how they run it isn't the same. And if you get a good deal on one, yeah, it's not bad. I wouldn't buy one new, though. I don't think they're worth it personally. It's just my opinion on that. Like some of the places too, like whenever they used to come into the city I was in, and they would offer like, well, they'd have the trade show and he'd always offer stuff. Be like, hey, I'll take your, when I had the 6x6x6, he's like, I'll give you this much for your 6x. He offered trade deals more or less. I'll give you this much for some of your equipment as long as I'm buying the press, just as leverage the price. And I've thought about it before. That's like, because it was one of the first autos I seen. And I was like, oh, it's cool, no air. And then even at the shows, like where he's got their registration system set up, but it's just not, it's nowhere near the speed as everyone else. And there's little twerks that I didn't like about it. But if that was the only auto that you could afford and you knew how to run that one, because the other thing too, their controls are a lot different. They run MP3. They're not fancy controls. They're very simple controls, which is good. You don't need the touchscreens are nice, but you can overdo it with some of the features. You just need something, flip a switch with which shirt you want to use, single pass or double pass. So you don't need to overcomplicate things. Brown does simplify it, but I wouldn't go to that personally. That's just me. If it was all I could afford, yeah, I would use it. But I would look at other ones first. Waldo, with all your experience, is there a brand of auto that you prefer? Ability to maintenance it because parts available every year later. Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, I think Rich and Brandon have a Brown auto. Yeah, and like I said, if you've got a Brown press, man, it's if that's all you started with, it's good. Like I said, my other friend, was it Ellipse Clothing or something like that? Epic, I think it's called. Anyways, that's all he runs. He loves them things. He's got one other person in that shop. And the thing is, like, even though like autos can run 600-800 shirts in an hour, you are not going to get 800 shirts out. You're not quick enough. Your body's going to even fatigue loading that many shirts or trying to take them off. So when they do brag about the speed, you remember that you've got to be able to load and unload. Granted, can you outperform a Brown? You're gonna get on a Brown press because you can press it to run faster. You can set it, make it move faster. On a Brown press, the quicker you go, the more you'll have misprints and stuff like that. You'll run 200 plus, 300 max on a Brown press per hour at best. 300 stretching it, but that's still not bad. But do I have a preference? I haven't used rock presses, so I can't speak on that behalf. But the presses I've used, I would rather have M&R all day long. The reason why, like you're saying, the availability for parts and maintenance. Anatol, they do not literally, I've went over this all the time. The support was horrible for me. Even the one I still got now, they don't have parts in stock. You're lucky if you can get the parts. Yeah, it's over 10 years old now, that press, but the problem is that press new was $80,000. there's cars that last a lot longer. You can go down to Napa Auto Parts and pick up the car part. So for them not to have the parts and support, not even 10 years out, I'm not big on that. When I had the issues, it was less than 10 years also. So, I mean, the longer it gets, the worse it is. There is companies that do support maintenance. That's who I went with. Quick color, 150 slow on a brown would be the best on a would be faster on a cruiser. One color, no underbase. Yeah, and you are right. Quick color. And like I said, there are people that run them. It depends which one, because they've got two different browns. If your machine's maintenance well, yeah, you can knock them out quicker. My one friend's, his was rode hard and put up wet, and his machine, man, like when we'd go over there, it was always the chain would pop. But he had an older machine. He bought it new and ran that thing into the ground. Didn't maintenance it well either. So, it comes up to maintenance, and that's like too, like would you need expensive equipment last 10 years? Yeah, I mean, I would expect equipment last almost 20 years when you're paying that much personally. My first CNC mill was over 20 years old when I got it, and it still ran. So that's just me. I expect things maybe to last more than other people do. But quality back in the day, especially machining, like Bridgeport mills are still in everyone's shop. You can find an old Bridgeport. Man, and Bridgeport lasted forever. That's when they were made in Connecticut. Now there are a few other spots, and the quality's gone down a little bit. But old Bridgeport mills, man, they held up forever. I just expect quality on parts, I guess. I expect better tech service. They have changed their office. Anatol has. But Anatol was horrible to me. Not good. And they just kept saying, hey, why don't you buy a new press? Well, what do you expect? It's this many years old. You can get into a new press for this much. They were just trying to sell their new press. They weren't really looking at, hey, let's fix this and make sure you're a happy customer. Sorry, I got a phone call. I'm back. Hey, it's fine, Lily. Everyone was wishing you happy birthday, Lily. Everyone that was on. So to me, it left a little sore taste in my mouth. But even wiping that out with them trying to just tell me to buy a new one is the parts weren't available. They also switch, which companies do switch parts. Valves are valves. Like, so a ram, let's say, and they all got rams in the choppers. A ram is a ram. Good night, Jimmy. Hope the pizza's great, man. Have fun. It was great having you, Jimmy. So like a ram is a ram. Yeah, as long as you've got, let's say, M3 ports or a 1/4-inch port, whatever the port valve is, the air fitting, and them you put on after anyways. As long as it's, let's say, a 1/4-inch shaft and it's the same diameter, a ram is a ram. So you can have an SMC, you can have clipper rams. They will all work. So you can buy most of the parts that way. But what they were doing, like they were having, like some things were custom done, or they wouldn't carry that no more, that one, and they didn't have a source for you to get another RAM that would fit into their parts, for instance. M&R, if you're out there, you want me to do a video, you want to send me a press M&R, I will gladly test it, just like all these other people are doing with Anatol. I will be fair and I will be honest, but I do like my M&R stuff that I have right now. But M&R, that being said, they don't give me anything, guys. But M&R, good example, Vega. He has got a press that's over 20 years old, an M&R press. Literally, and I think it's almost 30. I'd have to double check the date that we looked up last time. But M&R, literally, I can go on their website, and they either got the replacement part for it or they've got the original part. And most of the time, it's all in stock, even on the boards. Now, the older they get, they are slowly getting away. They don't have the boards. But for the majority of them, they do have them. He ended up needing a new main board recently. They had that main board in stock. So he didn't have to go like try to trace one down off of eBay or try to find a used one that someone had, hoping it worked. Because another feature he had an issue. They run a watch battery on it. And yeah, Vega has a gauntlet. Little me thinks, yeah. And they run a watch battery on the main board. The watch battery went. And what happened is that watch battery lost the memory, because even on your computers, you do have watch batteries in them, or you have a battery. So when you turn the power off or unplug it, that's how it keeps all your data stored in your system still. Your major thing. It doesn't run the computer. It just keeps it alive during sleep mode on the main chip. Same thing with an auto. So what did happen when that battery went dead, he didn't change it when it was under power. The battery drained after, and it wiped everything out. So he had to have it reflashed. But they were able to do that, and they got it back fairly quick. M&R just, they do that. Now, yeah, there are other companies. I would love to try Rock Press. But they're not going to, none of these companies are going to send me a press anyways. I'm going to pay out of my own pocket. So if I'm going to go buy a press right now, money not being an option, I would buy an M&R or maybe a Rock. I would look at a Rock. I do like some of the features I see on Rock. I don't like how they promote stuff, but I don't like how a lot of companies promote things. So, but from what I've seen, there are some good with the presses. I've seen some negatives on features too. I do like the heads up. It gets faster time. Again, though, no matter what, it doesn't matter if it's faster. You can't load that quick, so you're not going to outperform your machines on any auto, really. Happy birthday, sis. I didn't celebrate. Not till the next week. I'm going to the bar. Do they sell donuts at the bar, Lily? Gotta find me a boyfriend to buy me a printer since Juan doesn't send me mine. Sister, take your tumbler and hold it more than those glasses. Gotta go, guys. Gotta pick up the kids. Have a great weekend. You too, quick color. Other thing too, guys, everyone that won the Vega print shirt, because I have you guys listed on my thing, send me your shirt size that you want. The shirts are in, and I got the unboxing video that came out. I did it the other day. I'm going to drop it tomorrow, though. Vega print, Goon Life, or not Vega, I meant Goon Life boxes, guys. The Goon Life shirts are here. Email me your shirt size that you want, and I will try to fill it. Do me a favor. Put down every other size after, like 3 different sizes that you are fine with. If I don't have that size, it's Goon Life, Eddie. Sorry, my mind got sidetracked where I was talking about Vega a minute ago. It's Goon Life. These are all Goon Life from the Goon Life giveaway. He finally got them to me. We had like 25 winners, I believe it was. We gave shirts to 20 to 25 winners. I got the list on my other computer, on the computer. But email me your size, your first major size, and then your second one. If you don't want, like if you only want one size only, put that in the email, and I'll try to send you other stuff in the box. There's other stuff that he sent me. So like, let's say we don't have that size anymore. We are very limited on anything past XL. So we have a very small quantity of things. So I will see what other shirts we have in there that we could fit that size. But if we don't have that size, I need your backup size. And I need if you're happy with something else instead. Like I said, we got some Nipsey Hussle posters. We've got some sticker packs. We've got some pen packs. We got some keychain packs. So like if one doesn't work and you don't want a shirt just because it won't fit you, put that in the email. If I don't have this size, you want something else, and we will send that also. Yeah, Denise, email it just because I wouldn't remember everyone's thing. Hey, Mike, how's it going? And with my memory, but like if I have the email, guys, I will try. And I got the list who won first. There's certain ones that will go first. I will try to get everyone what size they wear. I can't guarantee anything. I only have certain sizes. So like I said, if there's a size that you are content with, maybe it won't fit you, but it'll fit your significant other. Put that in there. Maybe it'll fit one of your kids. Some of these shirts aren't appropriate for kids, but yeah, just put that in there. And like I said, if you don't want the shirt only but one size, put that in there, and I will try to get you one of the goodies that he has in there also. thank you guys for also, that was going back to when we did the Ramon thing. Thank you so much, guys, for that. I very much appreciate that. It just took a little while to get this here. So I will be getting them out this week as soon as I get everyone's info. But I thank everyone so much for that. How's it going, Mike? What are you getting now? I'm not getting nothing out, Mike. That's when everyone won the Goon Life shirts a month or two back. Whenever we did the thing for Eddie, or sorry, I looked at Eddie's thing. When we did the thing for Ramon, I told everyone. Goon Life said he was going to send some shirts. So I told everyone. I gave out 20 shirts, I think it was, and I said, "List, send me your size." We had 20 winners that day. And so the shirts finally came in. And so I'm trying to get everyone their stuff. Hey, guys, if you want to see something cool, go watch NovaWorks. And NovaWorks did 2 vehicle wraps this week, guys. They did a big duck, or I call it a big duck. It's a van with the duck. And he did a car for a cleaning service. The videos are a little long, but they're worth watching, guys. Especially if you want to see how vehicles are wrapped. And that's with the new Epson. So if you're wondering about Epson printers, that's all printed on the Epson. The quality looked good, especially since Mike didn't know. But yeah, guys, if you want to check that out, check it out. It's a pretty cool video, guys. Like I said, Mike wraps the car first in the one video, and then the one, I believe it was the next day, he did the van. But check it out, guys. It's pretty cool. What size best sells or more often? That, Carla, to me, it's a area thing, and it's a who you're selling to thing. In general, I sell more probably larges than anything. But larges, extra large are my main go-to sizes. But depending on what I'm doing, like when we do like the hospital walks, or I do American Cancer Society shirts for them, that stuff is large and lower. They don't order as many. I think literally the last order they did, I could count the 2X on one hand. They didn't order too many 2Xs. For one, anything 2X and up costs more, but that's what they did. It wasn't because of the money thing. They're like, hey, we didn't have enough people pre-order them ones. The people in our group don't need that size. When I do like this other factory that I print for, that factory, literally, I think I might have one, maybe less than 5 small, medium shirts altogether. They are all 2X and up. They've got a lot larger people. That factory has over 500 people there, but they're mostly bigger people. The other thing with that factory, though, Lily Waldo single. Hi. Hey, Pam, how you doing? But so on that thing, like I said, it will vary. Like you can ask Pam. Pam just started doing a bunch of shirts. What size do you end up having a shirt size, Pam? And like I said, it all varies, like location to location. I'm in the South. A lot of people corn-fed down here. So we tend to be a little bit bigger people. Other areas are going to vary. Like Rye wears a kid's medium, I think. Juan wears a kid's large. I mean, smaller people, smaller sizes, smaller areas. Carla, yeah, I'll sell a lot of biker clubs here in Arizona, and I sell mostly 2 and 3. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. Biker clubs that we print for, they don't have small people. So, and like I said, if you were only, I missed what you were talking about. What size do you normally print the most, Pam? Denise, my phone is out trying to fix it. I didn't answer. Send me an email. But yeah, what size do you print mostly, Pam? Hey, Nova, lots of retired military. Yeah, and then like I said, it just depends on who you're printing for. The tattoo shop I used to work at, and that we would print the shirts. Large was the number one shirt. Extra large was second. We would do small and medium. Believe it or not, there's a lot of small ladies that come in there. But it wasn't the major thing. Most places, even like Pam said, large and extra large are your to go-to shirt sizes. But if you know your demographic of people, like I said, like if you're only printing the biker clubs, you're probably only going to print a handful of small ones, and that's for their wives or significant others or ladies. If you're a good example, I do the high school volleyball teams. Not going to run a large or extra large, very little, because they're small kids. Even though they're high school kids, they're all small. They're volleyball people, even though they should be tall. On the schools there, they're not the tall kids. But even then, they're still not going to wear like the extra large 2X. It just doesn't happen. So depending on what you're printing for will determine the majority part. But if you're going to stock something, a good example, all of them were just for when I did some random shirt stuff, like when we were printing the Waldo shirt that I did in the one video where I said people could order it. Ordered them just for that. The majority of the size was large and extra large, just because that's usually people's to go-to size. So like I said, it does vary groups that you're printing for, but you normally can't go wrong with that, because what happens, even if someone, let's say, was a medium, they'll be like, hey, I can wear a large if that's all you got, or extra large. Someone like me, it's like hard to say if you only got even a good example, we go to the trade shows now, like Atlantic City. They don't print 2Xs very seldom. That's unless you go get your shirt and take it to them. So what ends up happening, and a lot of times they do large. So last trade show, and I wear extra large or bigger. Last trade show I went to, that was in Nashville. Well, actually, this is last one and one before that. But anyways, the guy was like, I got to meet him. I was like, don't even waste. I don't want to take it. I'm not going to even be able to fit in it. The other thing too, M&R did a new process. I've got a video somewhere. I might air it. I might not. They were printing on this on their auto because they were using their new direct to film that you hook on the auto press. They were printing that. They sent me the shirt that they ran on there. It was a large, I think it was. Yeah, it was a large. It ain't going to fit me. So that shirt's in the box. I've got a lot of vet shirts, or when I'll get something like from NASDAR or whatever, when they'll send me a shirt, it tends that they always send a large unless you are talking to the person and tell them what size you wear. But in general, them places send a large. So what ends up happening, it's a shirt I pitch in there and use it to clean the shop or give it out to one of my guys if they want it. Just because I don't wear a large, not even going to be close to fitting a large. Fat man in a little shirt, that's what's going to happen. I try to keep large and extra large and black and white in stock. Yeah, and that's the best thing to do, because them are your major sizes. The lady buys more unis than anything, and tank tops. Ladies buy more undies than anything in tank tops. Yeah, that's the other thing too. And when it does get into tank tops, what I normally do is, you do have the unisex tank tops, but usually ladies want the razorbacks and all that, which is the cut. And so normally on that, when I do tank top stuff, we do try to offer a ladies tank top, just because the form and fit is going to be way different. And some of them want that instead of the other. So I do try to go that route if I can. But like she was saying too, they're buying it for the biker club. That's the thing too. That's the other thing too. Like, we printed underwear, thongs, and all that for the tattoo shop, with the logo on it. People bought them, but they're not. We didn't print 3X underwear. No guys are gonna buy that. We only did the ladies things on certain sizes, and that was it. And so that's the thing too, is like some of it too, you'll find that certain people only buy certain things or certain sizes, certain styles too. Have you ever had a headache in your ear? I've had some bad headaches, but I don't know. My doctor gives me something for the thing. I don't know what it's called, but I have it just because for my other stuff. But it's got Tylenol 3 in it and some other stuff. It's actually, you will fail a thing with it. I've got a note for it so I can have it. What I miss, I fell and hit my head. You didn't fall that far, Rye, because you're only this tall. So you maybe fell 3.5 feet, 4 feet at best. I do have a video of Rye falling, guys. Oh, there's my phone. Lily got her donuts, Rye. The other thing you missed, Rye, was I told everyone too, I got the Goon Life box, so everyone's stuff is going out this week. Everyone email me your size that you want, preferably, and then the size that you want if I don't have that size, and we will get them out. Denise, still broken, I think. Scared to check it. Oh, nice. Eat it, Lily. Yeah, Lily said she was eating some donuts. Large. Are you sure about that, Rye? Do I do all customers design full cover tanks with matching undies, $30 a set? Yeah, and I was gonna say, believe it or not, the undie thing, you can make a lot of money doing that. Like, people always are like, hey, what stuff sells and what's unique stuff that maybe I should try. And especially if you like bike clubs, for instance, that is a big thing. Motorcycle clubs, not the pedal bike clubs, but they are very big on that. Looky there, guys. Rye just dropped a new Instagram thing. Focus. There you go. Get my face out of it. So that's a direct to film, ain't it, Rye? Just kidding. I had to run outside. Neighbor bumped my car about to Chuck Norris's butt. Now we all know that is a lie. He can only knee chop people. I'm trying to find, and this is one of the things, I don't know if they updated their thing or not. Is he going to Judy chop them? Let me search this way. I've got him as a friend. This is one of the things, guys, where I was saying about air fresheners, which, like, people ask, like, what's some random things and do they really sell? This company has 24.6 thousand subscribers. And all they do is the air fresheners, like where I was saying, you put dogs, people's, I don't want the dog. Let me go back. There we go. All they're doing is taking their photos and literally they're lasering them out and then sublimating on the air fresheners. Doing the kids' ones, their pets. That one's not even going to focus. But they are making a killing off of these things, especially the pet ones. But they do any image you can think of. There's people's trucks. All they do, and it's a super simple thing, is like they say here. They're making custom air freshener ladder. Yeah, Rye's doing a chairs and ladder match with the neighbor as he's fighting them. It's a 2-step ladder. Yeah, he's going to rear naked choke him. But like, and they've like even on their website, they've got 5,000 reviews. I mean, it's crazy. I tried air fresheners, didn't do any good. Yeah, and some people do and some don't. I mean, it's like these companies that I've dealt with before. Like a good example, this company right here, this is off their site. Focus. $12.99 just for one air freshener. And literally, they've got dates of reviews and all that of these people on here and all their little things. All I can say is going to be a funny live on Thursday. Why is that, Rye? And like this company, I mean, they let you select your fragrances. They do a bunch of things, but like they run some big numbers. And like I said, that's the thing with a lot of these companies. Is like I said, it's you just I wouldn't say think out of the box, but just look at different things because, like I said, there's a lot of good things you can do to make some. Sorry, I was reading Rye's whole video post that he did, reading the comments. But there are multiple. Dang, Waldo, Tuesday. Oh, yeah, now, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm a little slow riding this dyslexic Tuesday, Thursday. They just, we just flip flop. Lily, I always have a 10-inch laser near me. That sounds horrible. Yeah, Carla, and like certain things will sell better, Carla. I mean, it's just certain. It depends on, like I said, even like on the shirt size, where people are asking about that. It depends on the demographic of your area and who you're selling to. One of the things that we did that we were pushing really big, and it kind of helped out a bunch. Go to car dealerships, where they always have little things with their company logo. Literally, we did the car dealership there and did it on the air freshener for them. So literally, every car they sold had the air freshener with their logo in it. So it was a nice way for them to kind of sell more, or not really sell more, give them a customer gift, but it's kind of got their name on it so people see it. It's okay. They both start with the T, just like Monday. Hey, Friday, all in and Y, man. So I got that right too. 10 feet. Eddie, I didn't know. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I mean, I'm not still up there. but I didn't know JDS had one downriver. What city is it in? No new work this week. Well, the Brownstown. It's out in the country area then. I used to have a place out in Brownstown. You go up Beach Daily, make a right past the car plant, go down a few miles, and it was on the left. Too much work. Yeah, it's a lot of work, Carla. It just depends on, like I said, like we do stuff for them anyway. We do their shirts. So it's more like if you deal with the people anyways, it's just more ways to find more things to sell. But just for one sale, it's not worth it. But like I said, even like we sell to another air freshener company also online. They go through tons of them things. And it's just they do that. There's only a handful of places that do. That's all they do is the custom air fresheners. But it's a gotta go. Phone's dying. Thanks for the donuts, Waldo. No problem, Lily. Happy late birthday. Hope you have a great night, Lily. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for being home because I didn't want to send them and you not be home. But yeah, the other thing about like the thing, like I said, something like that air freshener, the other one we deal with, that's all they do is air freshener. See you, Lily, again. Have a great night, Lily. Them are sugar-free donuts, so you can eat all of them you want, Lily. I promise. They're Kentucky sugar-free. But how you doing the scroll at the bottom? OBS or video on stream? It's in StreamYard, Mike. It's over on their settings. They've got another one too where I can run just a bigger click box. But it's kind of weird. So I always leave the scroll one. It's the third one down on their list. You go down to the second button on the right, and it says banners. And so I just use the scroll one. And it's the third one down when you pop that open. It tends to work good. Kind of. Have a great night again, Lily. But the other thing too, like even like tumblers, like if people that are just crafting, it works good. Or if people that set out and do specific shops only, like I said, the ones that just do the air fresheners, they spend a lot of money on advertisement on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff to get that little niche market. But what it is, if someone wants to find something like that, then there's only a handful of them that are out there. So it really catches their attention. So it's kind of, like I said, it's a weird niche market, but people do buy them. They go through quite a bit. And the price markups, like I said, for one air freshener, $12 is pretty high if you ask me. But they're getting it, and they're getting them from a lot of people. And like I said, the advantage, all they're doing is lasering them out. You take them to the offset, contour it, sublimate it, reverse the image on the backside, and you're good to go. But it's one of them things. It's not for everybody. Like every product will not work for everyone. Like masks doesn't work for everyone, especially now that masks have slowed up. Some states are thinking of going back. Like my city that we're in, they had to vote Friday. The schools, when they do go back in, kids are still required to wear a mask. The other city, they're not. It's one of them things. Every area is going to be different. It just depends on what they're doing, what their thoughts are, and all that on it. So, but not everyone would sell masks. Some people sell other tumblers better than others. Everyone will have a niche market that does good in their area, depending on what area you're in. If you got a lot of factories, you're going to do a lot of T-shirts. Factories too. The lovely thing about factories, you're usually not going to do full color prints. They're going to be one color stuff, because companies that design logos, they understand. Like a good example, the therapy company, the rehab company that did my leg, their logo is one color. They do have a multiple color image, but most companies will have a one color image. And it works too, because they understand too, you're not going to do multiple colors on everything you produce. It's just not cost effective. Like pens, caps are a good example. This razor here, one color. Pens are normally one color. So a lot of people look at that and create the one color thing. They will have a multiple color thing for other things. But in general, they try to keep it simple, because they understand down the line producing products with it, multiple colors take up more time, cost more money. Even like on your sport teams, if you look, very few sport teams have more than 3 or 4 colors. Most of them are 2 to 3 colors. Even on that, it's just a production thing. It's a cost thing. They understand. And it's usually not gradients on the thing. It's all spot colors on things, for the simple fact to do stuff like that. It's easier in printing compared to if you're trying to do gradients on it when you're having stuff reproduced. People are not going to be able to match the gradients as well as they would spot colors. So, and that comes if you're designing your stuff, look at it that way. What's up, Mike? Like the van wrap I did. Yeah, I liked it a lot, Mike. That's what I was talking about earlier when you first got on. I told people to go check that out. He did a car for a cleaning service too. I like the van better. How it looked. It's a full wrap, or pretty much a full wrap. There's more of it to see on a van than there is on cars. So I always like things that you can see more of. Yeah, and like Mike said, that van was all vector. And that's the thing, is like, because even from when they send it to things, or when you're printing things, if it's off a little bit, man, it's like if you did a gradient and you're trying to line a gradient up on a car when you're wrapping it, it can be a pain if that gradient, because you do an overlap on the stickers. Vectors are a lot easier to do than it is compared to gradients. Gradients suck, especially if you got to line it up. I mean, it's on big prints like that, it's not fun. Yeah, finish the cleaning service cart tomorrow. She only let us have the car for like 6 hours that day. Yeah, that's because she was out trying to make that money, Mike. Yeah, well, I mean, you're right about the hard lines, Mike, but like, especially too, if the print's off a little bit or the colors. Like a good example, which I don't use it, I just know people that had latex printers. Latex printers are notorious for not keeping the same color consistent, and I've heard a lot of people had issues doing wrap stuff, even using the vector colors, just because the one sheet could be off just that little bit, and it looks a lot worse. Carla, I gotta see that video. Yeah, Carla, he's got it on his channel. Check it out. And then if you on his Facebook, you can actually see it also too, the finished product. Like I said, there's multiple things in printing besides screen printing. There's stickers, there's car wraps, there's floor wraps. He does wedding floor wraps. There's a lot of stuff you can wrap. Epson ink's been great. It's much more cost effective than my old Muto. Yeah, I've seen a lot of advertising at SEMA conventions back a few years ago. What's up, Fred? How's it going? Yeah, and like, I mean, the thing with the label printer, it's just another thing, Carla, you can add to your business. Um, like Mike does a lot of wedding floor wraps, believe it or not, and floor wraps do pretty good. It's a different thing to print, but literally, I mean, he was doing a few a month because he was posting some videos on it and all that, and it's good money. It's you're throwing it down, it's coming back up, but so it's kind of you're wasting product, but they're paying for it, so it's kind of a nice thing. Muto ink was 126 for 400 milliliters. Yeah, so that Epson's almost double for the same price. That's crazy. And you weren't using the official Muto ink either, were you, Mike? You're using was it Nasdar's brand or were you using the official Muto brand? Or no, you were using Muto ink, weren't you? Hey, the print house. The print house, do me a favor. Send me your shirt size and then the size that you are happy with. If I don't have that size, I got Goon Life stuff in. And so I'm going to be sending everyone's shirt that won a shirt. I remember you were one that won it. I'll send you the air freshener blank also to print house. But send me that also to print house. Email me the size and all that. I typically use Muto. But did use some other brands sometimes, which was 80 for 400 milliliters. So, yeah, that's the thing, Mike, is like, and then the other thing too, though, you had to probably adjust it out some on, like I used off-brand even on my Mamaki, but I stuck with the same brand. And so, I mean, it kept it consistent, but cost of ink, when you start looking at it on prints, that's where the money savings is when you start getting into ink costs per liters and all that. That's where your money's at. So, like, that's why some of the other print, I mean, you might be paying more for the printer, but at the end of the day, your total print cost or ink cost is what's going to come out of your pocket. And so if you can get better ink prices and that printer might have, let's say, cost you $2,000 more, you're going to make up for that definitely in the lifetime of that printer, usually within the first year or less. Some printers, you'll make up for it within the first month or two. Yeah, guys, the other thing to check out, hopefully the print house drops it this weekend, maybe, I'm hoping, or next week. He's got a video, guys. He works in a large sign shop where they do the plastic signs or the molded signs. He did a video Thursday, I think it was. They did part one of it, guys. So they do the first part. It's a Dairy Queen sign. Check it out, guys. It's pretty sweet. I enjoyed watching that. He does have part two coming out where they're going to do the coloring of it and all the rest, guys. It's pretty cool, guys. It's a huge sheet. The print house, how thick was that? I knew it was, 10 feet long, you said in the video? But how thick was it and what kind of plastic was that? The print cost me about the same as my old Muto. And it's 65-inch versus 54. Yeah, so you really came out ahead then, Mike. Embossed face, yeah, I will film a lot of the commercial stuff we do. Yeah, I liked it a lot, the print house. It was kind of cool. One of my friends runs a big shop. He used to do a lot of Dollar General stuff down here. And they were always doing that stuff. So it's always cool watching that and seeing it done because very few people see that. And it's pretty cool. It's 3/16. That was pretty sweet. Use the roll-in Traverse ink. 500 milliliters, $140 per color. And the money maker will be on my on my rolling. Mike says emboss is fun. Yeah, the Dairy Queen was 10 by 2, but that's small. We do large stuff, but we have a lot of corporate accounts. So I got a question for you to print house, which I didn't type it in there, just because that print wasn't that big, and I know you do bigger prints. I know plastic only comes so big. So what do you do if, let's say, I wanted a 20-foot long sign? I'm assuming you're going to seam it. Do you have any? You have any videos on that? How you handle the seam of that? And then I'm assuming the oven can only take such a big a part too, so you can only probably heat, I'm guessing, less than 20 feet long in that oven. So I know you have to do multiple sheets, but how do you handle it lining up the seam and all that stuff? The Dairy Queen was this one I just read. A lot of corporate accounts. We get them on the rolls. Well, that's pretty cool. So technically, you can go the length of a roll then, right? See, I didn't know you could get that on a roll. That's kind of really cool. I believe that's 110 by whatever the spool run long. That's very cool to print out. See, I didn't know you could get it on a spool or a roll. That's really, really cool. That is awesome to know. That's what I was always wondering, because I've seen some pretty big signs and never seen a seam in them. Lexan on a roll. Acrylic is in sheets. So that was Lexan then, the Dairy Queen? Polycarbonate. So now what do you do? Because I know you do like the Dairy, of course, you're doing the Dairy Queen sign there, the print house. What do you guys do on the neon? Because I didn't see neon in your shop. And I know all Dairy Queens run neon around the bottom and the blue, the feather blue, and then they also run the white. Okay, so that one was acrylic. So that one you can only make so big then, correct? We have a complete other building down the street for neon. But they are all retrofit LEDs now. That's pretty cool. You still don't beat the look of neon, though. Correct. I'm not sure the exact size, but I believe the oven can take 15 by 20 or 15 by 12. So no matter what, even if you're using the roll, you'll still, if let's say I needed a 20-foot sign, you're still going to have the plastic and a seam then, correct? That's for that one, but the vacuum is large. You don't, but slogans have nice flexible neons that look good and replicate. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, see the print house. Like, I've actually got a neon manifold there. I've messed with neon before, and I've just actually purchased another neon shop, like I said recently. Neon's like a dead art, but it's always fun. But like the look of neon, it's classic, but it's going away big time. Like you said, everything's going LEDs, and the stuff that's out there is very good looking, but it's still not the same. But it's something too about bending a piece of glass, spending all that time. The science behind it's kind of crazy. How much vacuum voltages and all that. You pretty much have a Jacob's ladder in there that you're running the voltage on as a safety and all that. I think I'm gonna have to visit the ER. That's not good, Pam. Why do you got to go to the ER? You will have a seam. The seams are connected with clear glue hooks, etc. Transformers are big, etc. Yeah, transformers are, Mike, but like even the tattoo shop we did, all we did was run the transformer inside in the loft. Like you don't got to have it outside. It's definitely an art. We were the #1 neon for years. We do all the repairs for neon in the Midwest. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like the shop that I ended up buying out recently, they were doing, I mean, because it's like you said, it's few and far between nowadays where shops are. So you tend to have to go further and further to get neon work done. It's just, and then even repairs now, it's like beer signs. I mean, you still have the man cave stuff that you're doing the custom stuff for, but even breakages and all that. Like I've got Nashville down the street from me, so Nashville still runs neon. Like Kid Rock's new sign was all neon, but it's very few people, like they're going away from it big time. A lot of people are. There's nothing against it. I mean, it's its own little nature and beast, and it's kind of like, here's a good example. Here's downtown Nashville, and you can see all the signs that are neon on the street. Like there's Tootsie's, the famous Tootsie's. Yeah, the print house. I've worked in it before. Had some stuff, got out of it just because it's major thing that I ended up doing was a lot of repairs for a lot of the shops around here. But the deal when the other one came up, it was a pretty nice offer. So I ended up purchasing him out and all the equipment because he was doing large. He's a good friend of mine. He did large format signs for a long time, and or large scale signs, kind of like what you guys do. He did all like the Dollar Generals and all that. He had a lot of contracts with a lot of them area ones. So he'd send people to Georgia and all that. But he was doing neon on a lot of things. And then his glass blower passed away. And he had one or two other guys in there that they're not that good. And so he they still work with it a little bit. But long story short, we ended up kind of working a deal, buying it out and all that stuff. And I'll probably get back into it. I'll probably do some videos on it. But yeah, I've worked in neon. I've bent some glass, done some loop overs and all. It just takes a lot of time. But I enjoy it. It can be a stress reliever. It can also be a stress causer. Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say too, Mike. Like a lot of or not Mike, the print house. Like I've got some old glass from back in the day, and then I got some even new glass where it's way different, the glass, even the phosphorescence that are in them. Some of them you can't get anymore. Some of them are considered toxic and dangerous. Some of the real cool colors you can't have anymore. I have like in the one, I don't have it here, but I have, like I made my own signs And I used to, when I set up in the other part, I had two of like the football stadium team that we did stuff for, but I actually did their logos of football or their football helmets are chrome. So we actually cut into chrome and then we put the neon tube on the outside. It looks just like their helmet. We did that for a bunch of bars and all that. And then I did my own logo, not the banana and pickles. But I was in the other room. I had it set up behind me. But as you know, you can't really film or photograph neon good. The cameras don't pick it up. And it just gives some weird color sometimes. The colors never look as good as they really do when you see them in person. And then some of the colors run together in the photos, which don't really run together in person. Yeah, the nice thing about it, though, the print house, as a side thing, it's one of them little side hustles where kind of like I tell people when they start in tumblers. People start tumblers as a side gig and they're running them out of their house. The nice thing is with neon, you don't have to worry about many other people jumping into the side gig of it. The equipment, dangerous per se. The voltage you're messing with, you don't usually get but one shot with that. If you get hit, you're done. That being said, barring that, just the understanding of it and the science and the understanding of how to bend glass, how to keep the air in there and not collapse the tube. Because like a lot of the repairs that I've done recently were on crappy, like just bends that they didn't bend good. They didn't put air in, it collapsed inwards and all that. It still held, but it didn't hold long. And so, can you make me one that says, I'm better than Juan? Yes, I can, Rye. You'll probably get that, Rye, before I get my stuff from Juan. No. I set up Neon with Neon Wizards years ago. Do you like that program? Because, see, I've used it, but I never was completely... I didn't care for it that much. My old computer had it. That computer got destroyed, and then I've never bought it again. I know other people like it a lot. Other people just kind of... I still go at it drawing a large plotter and just kind of... I've got a little, not really cheap program, but we've got a stencil thing that we kind of work with in the Photoshop. It works in Illustrator also. It does our line spacing. It doesn't do on our curves, so sometimes like we got to manipulate on the radiuses some. But it gets me to the point where we can kind of work. But I haven't never really messed with it. I've seen that program. Like I said, we had it on the one. And I never messed with it enough to really say if I liked it a lot or not. Really sharp throbbing pain at the top of my earlobe. I took medicine over an hour ago and it's getting worse. Definitely go in, Pam, because it could always be something else. Not to scare you, but I had a family member that was having pains like that and ended up being a tumor. So not saying it's that, Pam. Please don't be scared. But go in, Pam, and just let me know what they say, Pam. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's just nothing major. It's something they can maybe prescribe some medicine for and get it taken care of. But you should always go get stuff checked out, like your eyes pinky even. You never know what's wrong. And most of us are not doctors that are on this channel. So you're better off to get professional counseling or answers than Dr. Rob. So not much competition, I'm sure, but China has, and yeah, I was going to say, that's the other thing too. China is crazy, man. Like I look at some of the prices, I would not make a sign for what China's doing. And they're shipping that stuff here too. It's just crazy. China, like I get messages from them all the time and the pricing they're quoting. The only thing which sucks is like all your beer sign stuff is China anymore. The smaller stuff. or como te la masa. I don't know what that says, Rye. My Spanish is off today on that one. You will have to translate that, Rye. But yeah, China's bad about that. The only thing that you still kind of have them on is like the big signs. We don't do none of the big stuff. We've done some repairs on the big stuff that they'd bring in the parts of glass, but we didn't build the sign. But like the guy that taught me, he did a lot of stuff downtown Nashville, like all the big stuff. Next to the Batman Tower, there's a big CC. He did that sign. But yeah, like you'll get repaired, but like that's the only thing where you could, which I don't do that, so I'm it's not really beneficial to me to print house, but is like a big stuff. China's not, they're not really going to make like a 20-foot tall sign. They would if you were confident to send them to print, but that's the only leverage that we've got here in the States on that, because the other stuff, but the other thing too, transformer quality has gone downhill big time. Transformers are kind of junky now compared to what they used to be. Old transformers, man, they work great. These newer things, well, the China ones are junk. Some of the Italian ones work good, but the quality went downhill on a lot of the stuff. It, like I said, it's a dying art, but there's a business for it. But it's like what we ended up doing recently on some of the other stuff where they did is you do a lot more art stuff for people like Art Deco or crafts. So you might like, I got it somewhere, and everyone's done it that worked in neon. You get an old TV, and you literally you put the MTV logo in the front, and then you make a retro art. And so like stuff like that, or you get a lot of people that want kind of, they have art and they want neon around it, which you can do it with. The bad thing, you can do it with the LED stuff, and most people would be content, but you still have the diehard people that got the money that want the real thing. But even glass gone up so much, it's not cheap. And then I use propane, but that's even gone up. I guess you could use natural gas, but or instead of saying nothing to drugs, say it to Juan. Or instead of saying no to drugs, say no to Juan. We kind of need it because the guys, we need to know how to lay them out. We definitely use plotters to make the pattern. Still done like that. Yeah, and that's the thing too. None of this stuff has changed. I mean, you still use all the same stuff that you would use before. I mean, it's just, it's one of them things, like you said, or we talked about, it's like a dying art, and there's not much that you can make it more advanced. The thing I would love to learn that I don't know is I would like to work on plasma stuff. I'd love to learn how to make some plasma art things, because plasma is cool. You can generate it throughout, kind of like the ball that you touch with your hands is plasma. I think there's some cool stuff that you can do, and I've seen a lot of cool stuff. There's a class in, I think it's Salem. I looked into going up there. They do a whole glass thing, but they don't do neon. It's funny, they're worried about the voltage of neon compared to doing plasma art, but they do what is it? Scientific glass blowing. So all you're literally making the manifold and all that, they do all that stuff. So they do all beakers and all that stuff, I guess you'd say, but they learn how to do all your scientific glass blowing, it's called, or glass art in general, making vases and all that. I don't want to learn all that. I just wanted to learn their plasma class. But you got to take the other classes to do some of it. So I'll probably never do that, but maybe I'll find someone that will teach me some of it one day. Or put no one Juan's name on it. Yeah, the pinky still hurts. Hey, Rye, you can do like my dad, though. My dad's pinky's gone. His is like this. Like I said before, he cut it off on a band, so I ran it in this way instead of this way. But so they couldn't put it back on because it shredded it. And I had to take him to the hospital when it happened. It was pretty nasty and pretty bad. But it's funny because it's if it has got a pinky. If I had a video of that, I'd have showed it, but it would have been demonetized because the blood. That's cool stuff. You need to be super creative. I'm not that much. Yeah, but I mean, but you work in the printing things, the print house. So I mean, creativeness is just thinking, and like on the glass stuff though, it's just you can only do certain bends, certain like it's just look. What I always do is I wouldn't say outside the box, but just look at things that are somewhat different. Like I've seen people do neon airplanes, but instead of a flat airplane, they literally bend the glass. And then, like I said, even the kryptonite stuff, or not kryptonite, but plasma stuff, which you use kryptonite gas in some of it, or krypton. But it's just thinking how people would like to see something, or like a cool thing that I thought to make, but I mean, China would make them cheaper than I could. Is like I've got an old shirt that was a beer shirt, but they ran neon around it they were advertising for it. And it's kind of cool because like for the screen printing business, you can do that and put the shirts onto it or put your sales just in vinyl on it. So it glows. You could put it in the wall. Super simple and easy to bend that thing. It's not really that complicated. The hard thing is the shipping neon. It's not fun. Most places won't insure it, like UPS and all them. They'll find a way to avoid it because they'll say it wasn't shipped right or packed right. But it's a cool thing. Like I mean, if you're doing them for local people and all that, it's just a cool thing to have in any shop because it's a T-shirt, so everyone prints T-shirts. But you can actually, like I said, you can put vinyl on the front. You don't got to do the company's names. And I'll bring some of that stuff out. I've got it sitting around. One of the videos, I'll set some stuff up maybe. I'm just too old to be learning so many new things because that means I have to forget something else. Hey, that truck you did was pretty cool. You had to learn a lot to do that. So that's another thing, guys. Go check out the print house. He worked with the son on a truck recently. That's in an older video. He does a sign video too. Watch all those videos. Watch the print house's stuff. Watch his Rise stuff, guys. Watch Mike's stuff, guys. Everyone that hasn't subscribed or checked these other people out, check them out. Everyone's got things you can learn from. They all make cool things. Like not putting the print house down. I would have never thought he was into cool trucks like that. He's got it lowered and all that, guys. It's pretty cool. And I never thought, I knew he's in the RC cars. I just didn't know his son, too, guys, is a very athletic person. Covers that on there, too. But, I mean, it's cool to see that truck. I'm assuming it's shaved door handles, too, ain't it? Because I seen you reach through the car to open it, so I'm assuming it's all shaved. I've been drag racing for years. I would have never pictured you as a drag racer to print house. We got Beach Bend right down the street from me. Beach Bend, I'm sure you heard of that. It's a big track, quarter miles. They also got a water park and theme park there too. So that is always cool to learn more about people. Yeah, I thought it was a D1. I didn't want to say that, though, and me be wrong to print house. Because I always hate saying something and have to retake it back. But yeah, guys, like I said, if you haven't checked this stuff out, check it out. Because that's the cool thing. Not everyone, even though everyone, a lot of people on enough about me. That's like a lot of people, for instance, Prince, but they do other things besides that. And a lot of people cover it. Rye covered back when he had his CRX. He covered that stuff. He got rid of it. So shame on Rye. But everyone does other things, and a lot of people cover the stuff they do. So it's not just finding that. You get to see what people, I mean, things that might interest you that you never thought. Like, so it's kind of always, to me, it's always cool to learn more about people. I try to learn something new every day. You never stop learning. At least that's my thing. Is it's better to keep learning. So once you stop learning, you slowly going the other way. I'm kind of big on that, and I'm almost up to 8. The other thing, guys, keep subscribing so he can hit that number, guys. I'm trying to help everyone get to 1,000, get monetized. Guys, help subscribe to this channel. He's at 850, so he needs 150 more, guys. Do your best, guys, to help subscribe to him. It would mean a lot because I like having people get monetized also. Go, guys, check out Goon Life. He's killing it in the videos, man. He's sending, we got these things we're going to send out. Goon Life's been killing it too. Stay home. I try to keep my channel on topic. Stay home. Yeah, well, I mean, because you're working out in the basement on the other stuff, but it was still cool, like when you did the other shop, because I knew you said you worked in that business, but I didn't expect that big of large format. So it's always cool to see that stuff. So when people say one thing, your mind doesn't always know which one. Like when someone's like, I work in signs, I expected it was general signs, not that kind of signs. So it's always cool to see the other stuff. And like I said, to me, it's always good to learn. I mean, I always try to learn more. Like, to me, it's interesting to learn more about things. It broadens your education, and you can learn something that you might be able to apply into what you're doing too. I mean, not everyone might need to learn something, but it can be helpful on other things. If you're ever on Jeopardy. Yeah, for sure. The commercial side is a different world. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like every side, most people don't see the full commercial side. They're used to seeing, when people say signs, a lot of people expect like the smaller signs when people say that. Not the big signs. I did the house print. I told Ronnie, she was asking for someone that would make LED signs, which was in the acrylic. So I did tell her to check out your page and to hit you up. I don't know if she did that or not yet, the print house. But I did tell her to hit you up on that because I know you make them. I don't really make them, but I did tell, because she was asking where to get them done. So just keep an eye out. She'll try to maybe get a hold of you soon. My nephew, I think, now has 2 million subscribers. That is awesome, Carla. Tell him to send me some. I would be happy I'd be happy to beat Juan right now. I would slowly love to build up my channel. I do the videos just to help people and do other things. Like I said, I will be going and meeting Vega soon. Not sure when. We're going to be giving away money on the street just to help people out. But I just like helping people. That's what I do with my money. That's why I like the printer and all that stuff I'm going to be giving away. It's just with the YouTube money that I get. That's really cool, Carl. I'll have to check his channel out. I mean, I'm sure my subscribing won't really help, won't affect him much, but I will definitely check him out. Anyone have a GoPro 7 or 8 that they want to sell me? Hey, Mike, check with Frankie. I think Frankie has one. Yeah, you usually when someone got 1 million subscribers or more, they normally are making pretty big bank. Yeah, and so that's the thing is like the YouTube isn't bad like people always think it is. I mean, because you're able to, like, for instance, he travels, just makes videos, but like you can make a living. People like Stan. I mean, not knocking him on that, but Stan makes, that's what a lot of his money comes from, is the YouTube money. There's money that can be brought in just from doing that. Figures 40 to 80 for every 1,000. No, I don't know. Just because depending the content, it's all content variable, and that determines on what commercials advertise the print house. Because like on mine, I'm a little bit shy of 20 per every 1,000. I was there. Goon Life's got me beat on that. He's averaging more than 20 per every 1,000 though. So it does vary. I know other people that are like only like, I think it's 5 to 10 per every 1,000. I know some people that are higher. It's always the content that you have, that because what it is like your biggest ones are like stocks and bonds and all that, because them are the ad people that are going to pay the most. All them, I would say scam companies, but all the get rich schemes people, they want to advertise on the stock market ones or the gimmick ones. So them people that make them videos make a lot more per 1,000 than someone that might be in a market that's flooded per se. Screen print is not a flooded market, but it's a limited market also. You're really not going to have anyone hit like 2 million subscribers in the screen printing market. Lee might eventually get 1 million. I think he's close to it, but Lee's in a different, like he had all his bike people follow him before. So you've got to be in the market that does other things like Mr. Beats and all that. I mean, gives money away. Like he's in a different market, but the advertisement that they draw on there, because the marketing budget, you don't get to pick the person. They're just putting it in. You can select like kind of what stuff, age groups and all that when you use the affiliate market thing with Google. You can select your demographic and all that stuff, but it's going to try to find stuff that works best. That's why a lot of times when you watch one of the videos, you might see Ryanet pop up. You might see some of the other ones that make the videos pop up. It's not that they're affiliated with any of us. It's just they bought advertising space, but it's usually going to be the same ones. But they try to put like the people into that thing, like the rhinestone stuff, than he used to do it. So if there's more advertisement budgets in that market, you're going to have better pay per click than you are someone in a different market. And like I said, in something like, I don't know what Wands is. It's been a while since I asked him. I don't think Rise is 40 to 80. Rise not much higher than me. And I know Vega's not that high. Vega's a lot less than me. When me and Vega talk, even though he's got more subscribers, I'm averaging more per 1,000 views. But it just depends on how you just describe the content and all that stuff of what they're able to market it towards. He gives so much away. Anything he buys on his venture, he gives to his subscribers. That's really cool, Carla. I'll have to check him out. I watch a lot of the other ones. I watch That's Epic. A lot. I subscribe to him all. I've actually donated and all that. He visits every country. That's really, really cool. He has many programs he makes money from. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Once you get more subscribers, you tend to have more ways to tie into more lucrative ways to add to the ad revenue, I guess you'd say, without even being associated. Like that was Epic, a good example, where a lot of these people will use the was it Manscaped or whatever. There's what's her name? She shoots guns. She's even an ad for the Manscaped one. And the crazy thing is she definitely doesn't use that because it's made for men. But she gets paid for that. So some people advertise stuff that they don't even use, or like Simply Safe and all that stuff, because they're budgeted. That was Epic. He doesn't do any outside advertisement. He only does the money that he makes from there when people send him super chats. But the money he's making from that is enough to do all the giveaways where he pays people's rent. And so it's one of them things. I mean, depending on what you want to do, you can make it with the affiliates, other people marketing helping you, or the channel alone, because that was Epic makes enough to live off of and have a nice living. So it's kind of cool to see that people are able to do that. Reyes went over a lot of his incomes, and it's kind of cool to see how much someone makes. I mean, Reyes was literally living out of a car at one time. I mean, he was in the hospital. I've actually sent money when he's in the hospital. That's before he even blew up. And to see how good he's made it now. I mean, it's nice to see that people can make it just doing stuff they love to do. That's why, like, I do the videos. I hope people learn from my videos and maybe find something important out of it, or if they want to learn to print, want to learn another process. The print house. One quick question: do you have your printer in yet? Your UV printer? Did you get it up and running yet, or have you had any issues? Because I've got mine. I've got a video coming out. I met that was Epic. He lives here. That's pretty cool. Like, he does a lot, man. It's cool to see people like that. The print house, we'll have to talk about the printers because, like I said, I've got a video. Yeah, the UFO one, yeah. Where their other products work great. No, I had to cancel. I was going to say, I'm running into some little issues with it. I will have a video next week. So far, we've worked the issues out, but some of it was stuff that will be an occurring issue with it. And I'll cover it in some of the videos, but it's something that I don't know. Like, I mean, it's that cheap a printer, even if I don't do nothing else with it. Oh, well, but it's good and bad. I mean, it is capable of doing some cool things, but the other thing too, the smell of UV inks too, they're pretty toxic smelling, so they're not as fun. But in the ink itself, which I went with, I only got the label on this brand, but I had some issue on the ink, and it's the ink in general. Looks like 320 versus 390 for a GoPro 8 versus 9. I would just go with the new one, Mike, for that price. But I knew what's his name? Frankie had one. I don't know if he was selling it. But Frankie did have one because he was talking on Vega's thing because he didn't want to upgrade or didn't want to pay extra for an upgraded one. But he had the older one, Mike, so you might want to check with him. I still want, but what your costs with everything? Literally, I'm less than $2,000 with everything. That's counting the ink. They're shipping and all that. It's like 1870 something, 1871 for the machine that is shipped to your door, but you got to buy ink. And then the ink I was in. I didn't. I might have been whatever the bottles are that they're 400 milliliters, 440, 400. I think that's what it was that I bought. I would have to check now that I said that. $500 milliliters. So my ink was 500 milliliters that I bought. And I forget what brand. Like, I went with one that my other Chinese vendor suggested, but then I found a U.S. one that said they carried that, and I don't really think it is. So some of the issues that I am having could be ink related, but it is Epson rated. But we will find out as we go along doing more tests. The videos will come out soon. Like I said, I've got them. Just me, like always, being honest with it. If the ink wasn't the problem, and the other little glitches that I do have with the printer, it's still worth it for what you could do. But like for instance, on the tiles, it would save me from printing that. But the big thing too is like they don't give you a surface treatment. Like for instance, Mamaki, they run the coating. The other one, they'll have like a little surface treatment ink, or not really ink, but coating that you just rub over the surface and more or less helps the bond of the ink. This ink didn't suggest anything like that. I know you do have flexible UV ink and you have what I would call solid UV ink. I did a bunch of prints onto tape and it held up until after a few minutes and it peeled right off. But it was crazy. It peeled off where I could hold it. So the videos are coming out soon though. So hopefully it does help people. But it's been on 3 hours, guys. I tend to run a lot longer than I would like. I was trying to keep it short. But I am going to hop off here because I got to work on some other stuff. The print house, email me also, and I want to try to go live on Wednesday and just do a kind of question and answer with you, just to kind of interview with you, I guess you'd say. I'd like to try to do it Wednesday if you're free to print house. If so, email me, let me know if you're able to do that, and we'll try to do that. I want to try to do one day a week, like a live interview with people. It won't be this long. It will be just a nice, quick, less than an hour interview maybe. If that would work, let me know. What's the print size on that one? That one is 13 by 16. You could technically go longer. The table travels longer, but it's only 13 by 16. The other thing too, though, the first inch on that, they suggest not to print within that first inch because it will cure on the capping station because the UV light's traveling so close to it. So they suggest not to print within the first inch. So you're eliminating down to about 12 inches by 16. So it's still a decent area. And then you've got, I think, 3.5 inches tall. So, but thanks everyone for coming on tonight. Please like, subscribe, follow if you ain't already. Give it a thumbs up. If you guys need to buy anything, do me a favor. It won't cost you a thing. If you buy anything from Amazon, guys, click one of my links below. You don't even have to buy that item, but if you click my link, and it will take you to Amazon. Liberty doesn't do Wednesdays, Carla. He only does Tuesday. That's why I was doing it on Wednesday. Rye used to do Wednesday. Rye doesn't do Wednesday anymore. So me and Rye talked, and I can do Wednesdays now for my other ones if I want. So Wednesdays is a free day. So I try to catch it and do a live Wednesday occasionally. But Juan does Tuesdays. Rye does Thursdays. And then I try to do Saturdays, and I'm going to try to do just a interview on Wednesdays if I can. But what I was saying, guys, too, it doesn't cost you a thing. It's just my affiliate link. But if you click anything there, and if you're going to buy something on Amazon, you don't even got to buy what you click. You can buy something if you need. Like I have links to the paper and all that I use. Amazon affiliate links locks you up for 24 hours. locks you in for 24 hours. Yeah, I was going to say, that's the thing too to Print House. So literally every time I make, even like this video, I go through and I change them links every time I drop a video, because they only give you that 24-hour window thing. But yeah, like if you guys buy something, they give me a percentage of it. That's what I was saying. So like it doesn't cost you anything. And then for all you guys that are doing YouTube videos, set it up, guys, because it's free money. I mean, the downside is every video you got to put new links in, because if not, you don't get the percentage of it, or it's an even less percentage. It's normally in the first 24 hours, but it does help. Like I said, it doesn't cost you guys anything that are using them, but anything you buy, like my niece was buying a TV from there during one of the sale things, and so she literally used my thing, one of my links, just to go buy the other item. I sold one of my printers through Amazon, made 109. Yeah, and like I said, so I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, I mean, my income isn't as much from Amazon as my YouTube, but it's not a bad amount. And I just, like I said, most of the money I make from all this stuff, I just do in the giveaways. But it's nice. Like I know, like when Reyes makes a killing on it. I'm not Reyes though, but some people make a lot more than others. But like I said, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost you guys anything to use them links. Some people need some of the stuff like the pads or the tape that I use. It's on there, laminate pouches. But like I said, if you're buying from Amazon, it's just one click, and they give me a percentage of all your sales that you do, as long as you did it through that click. So it helps out, guys. If you don't mind, please do that. Like I said, I'm an affiliate with Amazon. So thanks, everyone, though. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for participating. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Great to have everyone on here. I had a blast talking to everyone. Thanks again, Carla, for the super chat earlier. It's awesome to help and talk to people. It's also nice to meet people and learn more about everyone. Thanks, everyone, again. Have a great night, everyone. I'm Waldo. I'm out. Thanks, guys.